teeth made.
When she first said that on Facebook, I said, "Watch out for what's his name, Jake." I said, "Just better watch out for Jake."
You want to order a deck?
I'm thinking that it wouldn't be too hard to ship teeth. Not box weighs 200 pounds. It was that big ass dragon that showed up.
Well, here we go. Session 2. Agile Epics. Where a bunch of Midwestern hooligans sit around and play D&D.
Dying day.
And
What Aspa said, dying day.
Volmir is not present. I will be playing her character. And
His parents are dead.
are they?
No.
It might be. You never know. Oh, I guess I can go. I think I get killed. So we left off with the characters going to sleep in the guest quarters of the Lord of Newstone.
Yeah, we took the room, the big room.
So you all, after spending the night there in fanciest bed and the nicest linens that you've ever seen, awake, refreshed, and ready to take on the new day. So, what would you like to do?
We need to sit down and figure out what we need for the new young Lord to provide us for our traps.
I want a couple healing bags. I can read and write. I guess I can make a list. Right or Thank you, sir.
No problem.
Do we just want to do horses? 4?
Sounds good.
We'll be able to feed them.
There's 2 weeks of feed.
A lot of feed. You're going to need a pack animal for feed.
And you'll get 4 cents a pack one.
Well, do you know how to hunt?
Mm-hmm.
Maybe if we get lucky, that can help out with food along the way.
No, for the animals.
Yeah, for us, that would be not.
I'm talking about the animals. They're going to eat more than we are.
So,
Are we going? I forget. Where are we going? We're going into a. Oh, we don't know. We're just looking all over the place stuff.
Well, we got the map, the book. That's something that we're going to need to look through too, also.
Yeah, we need. Well, we've got time before we leave. We've got as much time we need. So yeah, we need to probably look it over and
Find a route.
try to find out if there's doing something underground, over water. Might require different equipment.
And also, I think the best thing to do is, instead of zigzagging across the countryside, just make a big circle. And probably need to get rope, okay, torches.
Okay.
Well, we need at least 3.
At least. I'd say just have extra just in case.
So you all have awakened and you've all convened in one room or the other, and you're having this discussion, making your list.
Is there anything Gomer needs?
She's got her weapons. She could, depending on the travel, probably food would be good to have.
Yeah, we got the food and horse
In
covered.
case the hunting yields nothing. That's all she can think of.
Sunscreen?
Yeah, no shit.
Hey, so cool. I'm so smart.
QUID.
QUID.
That's how I spell it. It don't look right though. Just don't look right for some reason. Maybe it's me. I believe it was, I'm just saying it don't look right.
It looks weird.
Yeah, I'm not denying that you're correct. That's what I wrote. I just, for some reason, it doesn't look right.
It looks like it has another E in there.
Something.
Yes, I know.
Can you think of anything?
Extra clothes for us, for everybody, just in case.
What's that?
Extra clothes.
You just provide that by your own though. It's not clothing you want. I mean, that don't make sense. You should have an extra set of clothes at home. I mean,
How many quivers are we gonna grab?
I'm grabbing one. Do you need one?
What I don't know how many of those we're gonna use. I'll play with it.
Go on.
What do you call that thing, Kyle, that you put up? That you like tie off to a tree, and then it's kind of like an awning or something like it's like a rolled up tarp, but you use it for shelter, training. There's a name for it. I can't. You know what I'm talking about?
The only thing I can think of is a lean-to. But that's
Quite the thing.
But I don't. Maybe that's it. You know what I'm talking about? It's just like a rolled up piece of canvas or whatever, and it's got rope tied to the corners. You just kind of like tie it off to a couple things. And you give you some cover underneath it.
well,
That exists in there, doesn't it? I thought it did.
not that I'm aware of. But I mean, there's no reason why you can't just see if they have such a thing. I know. I mean, there's tents.
Yeah, but tents. We don't need a tent, so fancy. There's something for like the top part of the tent. Pop up. Nice legs.
Pavilion.
Yeah, portable concrete, wood structure pavilion.
Close down, close out.
Then blown up.
Now there's per square yard of canvas. But as far as what you're talking about, no, that does not ring a bell. So.
You mean that ring a bell again?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't believe anyone's ever asked me for that.
I thought Garrison's group had one.
No, they had tents and they had a rope that they would tie from tree to tree to put the horses, attach the horses to it.
It's just a picket line. It's just a rope.
You're getting extra quivers of arrows.
Yes.
Yeah.
That was,
You need that as well.
I wouldn't say for me, but I'm sure Volmer would like to have an extra quiver too. Would you, Volmer?
sure. They're just giving them away.
Now you gotta sleep with somebody. There. I think. Unless there's something else you're thinking about. You know, we could probably use some spending money if we get somewhere where we got to pay a tax, a fee. If we have to get something specific for a job, like, I don't know, I think 100 gold would probably cover us. Don't you think? I mean, I'm guessing there.
Looks good.
Sure, little shit we could add to it,
Don't want to knick-knack them to death.
but I need 8 pieces of chuck, 3 candles,
Some string.
a pipe.
Clock.
What's it called?
And then on there,
Exist.
100 gold pieces.
They do exist.
Give us a copy.
Right? Well, no.
Well, hold on.
Right, 100 gold pieces on that.
No, just gotta ask.
Well, we don't have it.
Well,
on paper.
I would. He's gonna have it when he gives the 100 gold right down on paper.
And that's not easy.
No, I think 100 total. I'm assuming it would be enough. I mean, unless you guys think it should be more. Maybe he'll have a suggestion on how much we should pay.
Homer says we should just ask for 1,000 and then Jew them down.
Jew him down.
What's Jew?
Hey, Kyle, where's your glasses? Oh, never mind. Kevin, don't like to.
I don't think we would need that much.
You know, where you barter with them, so that way they think they're getting a great deal, but we're getting more than we deserve.
That's
We
an
can-
idea. It never hurts.
This
to ask.
is no, I get that, but this is not payment for doing the task. This
No,
is
I'm not
just-
looking for, I look at it. just-
Oh, I thought it was.
No,
I didn't
this-
understand what the goal was.
I'm just thinking
In
This-
that,
What's the
case we
goal?
run into something and we need coin to get us past it, or
If we need a place, if we wind up in another town and need a place to stay, we use it for that. If we are out there for so long that we need more food or more,
So we're not,
food
we
for
don't
the
need
animals.
tents or anything like that.
No,
well, I
we
wasn't
do.
getting a tent. I was getting a lean-to. We're not always going to be near a town, but
No, we're not gonna always be near town. I'm saying
I don't
if we
suggest we
come
stay in a
across,
town every time we come to one either.
No.
I'm just
but if we
lean-tos,
come
yeah.
across one, it would be a spot where we could replenish supplies.
It's a human thing.
I just think if we had that, it would expedite our mission.
Yeah. I think it would, the way I see it is if we run into a town, we can use it. If we're out there for longer than a couple weeks, we can use it to replenish our supplies.
Get these warm. Were these warm when you bought them?
Yeah, I'm sorry.
Is there any ice?
Yeah, on the right in the freezer.
I'm in the freezer. I'm not sure. Oh, the trays. I see them. Never mind.
He does it old school.
Old school.
I don't do ice in them.
We just do that because he can tell you,
Did you enjoy the game last night, Cubs?
I sure did.
Did you guys see Busch Stadium?
They showed it on TV.
Wow.
we're getting poured on.
Sea of blue.
I came into the store.
Did you see it? Hey, did you see?
No, I didn't. I was working.
Holy shit.
And especially, wasn't that a nice gesture of progress to do that? And they went, that was a nice gesture. They're
Sea
making
of blue.
bacon.
Watching the
Well, but one of the, I don't know if it was Busch Stadium or Enterprise or both, but the money was supposed to go to charity.
it was supposed to.
So I don't know if
Yeah.
it was both or just one of
They
them.
were
but I don't
both
know which
doing
one.
half the proceeds were going to be split up between the Blues. At Enterprise Center, half proceeds are going to the Blues thing, whatever their charity is, and then at the stadium, half was getting split between the Blues and the Cardinals charities, whatever they are.
That's what
That's
I mean.
at least good. I mean,
What's the cool thing is the blue.
Right.
Did
Right.
you notice the Bruins? Not a whole lot of yellow there.
No.
It's like, man, they suck. That's just incredible, man.
I
Now this picture I took off my TV's floating all over the internet. People are stealing it, passing them on. Like, that's my picture. It's off my TV.
I'll tell you what, did you see the interview with Layla and her mom?
Yeah.
oh yeah.
If that didn't rip at your heart, you're not a human
Every
being.
time she's fucking on, it does that.
That bothers you, doesn't it?
No, it bothers me that it tears in my heart. Yeah.
But that girl would hit, she goes, where do you want to watch the game? And she didn't, there was no thinking about she was Boston. And she
I
was-
would like all of you to make a charisma checks, please.
On point, right? Then we're adding, right? So
Yep.
I've got a 19 plus something. 16. So 25, right?
28.
And 20. No,
17.
35. Sorry.
Okay.
What the enhancements, guys?
So based on that roll. All right. So you.
Now, when it comes to the coin, though, that's why I said I didn't want to put it on the sheet. I wanted to ask them about it. They want it on the sheet because your rule, if it ain't on the sheet, you don't have it. I said, when we get it, I was going to write it down. But, I mean, we don't turn in a list with the coin on it. I wanted to ask him when we talked to him about it what his suggestion might be. It might be we might need more. I don't know. We don't know. That's not something we've done. But if something comes up and, like, I don't know, a road tax, a bridge tax, something where we have to get maybe the horse shoe needs to be fixed or something. You know, we don't really have coin. I mean, we don't. I don't know about these other two, but
The toll troll at the bridge.
yeah, I thought maybe having some sort of coinage to help get us through that would. I don't know how much that should be. I was thinking maybe 100 gold. Maybe. What do you think about that? I mean, you would probably know better than we would what to expect like that. We don't plan to stay at inns or eat at places like that. I mean, that's not the goal here. Isn't to go and have a vacation.
Well, the idea is to expedite and get
Yeah.
this done as soon as possible.
It would be nice to have that in case we're out there longer than we think, or something happens and we need to replace something. Yeah.
Yeah, we're planning to be. Hopefully, if everything goes according to plan, we'll be back within the 2-week period, and then maybe go for the next item. It all depends on what we got to do, because we're really only taking supplies for a couple weeks.
So
And if any of that looks like you need to adjust it because you think that we're not asking for enough of stuff or too much, we kind of threw together what we thought might work, but I point to my brother and say, we've never done this before. So,
Your soldiers,
I mean, I'm more concerned about the healing bags on that list than anything else for me.
Your soldiers and adventurers would probably know more than we do. We just put together.
unfortunately, our most capable knights are no more.
They wouldn't put there. Yeah, we saw.
What do you think, Franklin? Franklin says, well, he looks at all of you and he says,
I mean, there might be something important I didn't even think about that needs to be on that
let
list.
me
You know?
let me get together with our guys down with the supplies and see what we can come up with. So,
I assume one horse would be enough as a pack animal. I mean,
Or
it may
even a
be,
donkey.
the quantity might require two. I don't know. Obviously, we pack what needs to be packed on ours, and I don't have any experience with a horse, so I don't know how much can be packed on a horse either. We might need some help there
Alright.
learning where things go, so we know how to duplicate that each night or day. But we're not leaving right away. We're going to study this book and get clues where we need to go and try to figure that out. But in the meantime,
We want to get the supplies together.
yeah, and then maybe we can take some time training on how to set things up, where things go, stuff like that. I mean, obviously, we can use a tinderbox while at porch.
okay. So Franklin takes the list and he heads out to see what he can do.
Oh, and the wineskin was in case I need it for medicinal purposes for healing. It depends on what I mean.
Need the biggest thing of reefer you've ever seen for medicinal
But
purposes.
that's why I put it up by the healing bags. That's specifically not going to be used for enjoyment purposes. At least that's my thinking. Trying not to know too much. I'm trying not to know too much.
All right, so Lord Donald says, okay, I'm sure Franklin will, we will call you when we have everything we need. I'm assuming that you'll be given some brief training on what to do.
I would like someone riding a horse.
So,
I don't normally do that. If I go anywhere with mom and dad, it's on the buckboard or in the back.
The only thing you can do to assist us in assisting you would be great, Lord Donald.
he says, okay then, and then we will get a hold of you when we have what we can get.
Do you have a room where we can go and study this book? Or
Are your guest room
Well,
sufficient?
well, I didn't know you had like just a room with a table. We could also that. I don't know how public you want the knowledge in this book to be. I don't know if the rooms are they set up where the four of us can sit at this table for hours on end studying this book. I don't know
Like
where the rooms
The
have
big
them.
room
The
did
big
it
room
have
has a table.
it had a spot.
Okay, then that'll be
that
fine
works.
then.
I was not get we played it in. I did not know what the big room
No,
was
it's fine.
like. So
Yes,
It wasn't.
that would
important to know at
cover
the
the
time.
needs.
yeah, like
Well, let's go and let's adjourn to my room and study the book. See if we can find a clue on where to go first.
Sounds good.
So you guys leave the hall and go back to the largest guest room, and there you see a table with several chairs, and you arrange yourself. Volmir produces this leather bound manuscript from the carrying case that is protecting it from the elements, and she puts it on the table. And
Need this?
do I need it? I mean, yeah.
Yes.
And she says, if one of you wants to take the time to read it, that's fine, or I can.
Remind us what this the thing you have that makes you speak our language or understand, so vice versa. What is that object again? It was a stone.
he said it was something like a.
We're looking at it. What is it?
It
Is
just
it
looks
stone?
like a
Looks
stone.
like a brown stone with a kind of a hollowed out
And
part
that
of the.
and that allows the user or the wielder to understand the language in the book. Is that how it works?
Any is what he was saying.
Well, my next question is: if you don't know how to read, does it make you know what the reading is in the book if you can't read?
Well, I haven't tried it.
Can you read?
I don't know.
Can you read anything in your language?
No.
Well, then
Let's try it.
try it and let's see if that works. I can you read? I know you can't. Can you read?
No.
Okay. Well, I can read and write. So let's see if this will work with you guys. Please.
Okay.
Go ahead, Volmer. Go ahead. You got the stone.
Okay.
Try it.
So she gets the stone out of her pouch and she's holding it, and then she sits and she starts looking at the book, and she says,
Let's have a look at the picture.
"Ah, nothing makes any sense to me."
May I have the song? I take it and I look at the book.
Okay, what is it that you can read?
Yeah, I think Northern.
Northern Common Tongue?
Yeah.
Okay. So you're looking at the pages, and there are a bunch of jumbled lines and marks and symbols and occasionally there's something off to the side that looks like it could be a stick figure or a bush or
So
what have you.
so it's not revealing itself as being readable using the stone. Is that correct?
Oh, no, do you have the stone?
Yeah, I
Or does
asked
she
for
still
it.
have the stone?
No, I asked for it.
I'm describing what's happening. So, but as you continue to look, the images and the slashes start to form into.
Like they're moving, like as in to make northern tongue.
Yeah, let me
sorry.
do the fun
Go ahead.
description.
Sorry.
And the bush is like comes into focus as a word, and the line becomes another word, and the smudge mark on the left becomes something else until finally it becomes legible and you can read it. And if there is a word that you understand, apparently it's there.
So I start reading the book out loud.
The book talks about the history of the former cloister of monks that lived on this spot some 900 years ago.
The spot being where?
The castle's at?
Here in this castle? I mean, does it say it by name or?
Yeah,
Okay.
but it's not something that you've heard before.
Right.
And
So we don't know that it's necessarily the spot meaning here. It could be somewhere else. So, as far as we know.
well, you would know if you kept notes about what I said last game, because this was all explained last game. So the cloister was very successful at converting the local populace to one of the northern deities and explaining that these northern deities are the basis through which all life is created and life ends, and that the application of science or mysticism should be either adhered to or ignored based upon the teachings of the gods being mentioned. Some of the gods' names mentioned in their spheres are these gods: Lathander, Maleke, Halor, and several others that you're not familiar with. And then a bunch of stuff is written that has to do with things that make your eyes glaze over, and depending on how deep in the weeds you want to get, or you'll have to flip through the book maybe to get to somewhere that might have the kind of information you want. Depends on how much time you'd like to take reading this text.
Oh, approximately how many pages?
You flip through it and you're like, wow, that's thick.
Is there a table of contents? If you're looking for this, go to this page. That'd be amazing.
I'll kind of skim and see if I'm finding something that might zero in on what we're looking for, and then
Okay.
read that out loud.
Roll me an intelligence check, please.
So, I mean, I guess search for anything that talks about the relics of Forsooth.
That's all the point, right? And
It is.
okay. Never gonna intelligence check. Oh, I rolled a natural 20, so
All right. Say no more.
34.
Yeah, man, you're zimming through, and then kind of course, near the back where most stories end, unless it's a Quentin Tarantino book,
Right?
is you're like, oh, here, I see a reference to forsooth. And apparently, forsooth was an ancient god that came late to the region. No one knows where the worship came from, but it played to the idea that the race of elves was the cause of the evils in the world. And it blamed them for being the cause of evil because the elves, their long life was gained at the expense of the shorter lived races. And that the only way that the shorter lived races could be dominant is to destroy the longer lived races. And there were 4 great I guess the term, you're not sure what this word is. It's because you've never seen it. It doesn't make any sense. But it sounds like Osnan. And there's
How is it in the sentence?
the 4 Osnan.
Before? That we said?
The 4 Osnan, upon hearing their command by forsooth, were put forth into the elven lands, and using the great weapons bestowed to them caused great suffering to the elven kingdom. Whereupon the elves beseeched their god, someone called Solinor, and Solinor defeated the 4 Osnans and scattered their weapons to the farthest reaches of the realms. This is what he's just reading out loud. So are you asking the DM a question, or are you
what was
talking
the
to
name
him?
of the god?
Solinor?
Solinor. I'm good.
Solonor. Or whatever. Just some, yeah. Spelling's not that important. But you get to the word puzzles and those bullshit. So.
Freaking canoid.
Oh,
Fucking hate you so much.
did I do that?
I hate you so much for that.
Then I've done my job. My only job as a DM is to make someone cry or get mad. That's all. That storytelling can kiss my ass. And then it talks about how the remnants of forsooth can be found only by those who are willing to face the fire. And then a weird, the next page like goes, and like a bit of fire pops up, and you're all like, "Dad!" And you're surprised as fuck. And then just as quickly it goes away, and you guys hear from the book, like the pages, like they just start going like that.
This starts
But
talking about themselves.
you hear, where would you like to go?
It's asking me where we'd like to go.
What do you mean it's asking?
It's asking in my head. I heard, where do you want to go? Don't ask me
No,
how.
not in your head. The book spoke to you.
Okay.
But
I heard the book speak to me.
But only him.
Don't worry about it.
You
Where
heard
do we want to?
you heard the
Where do we want to go? Don't worry
No,
about what
he's
happened.
here.
Where do we want to go?
We want to seek
Yeah.
the first weapon.
Do we know the name?
Right.
No.
you're gonna want
We want to seek the first weapon. We seek one of the weapons, one of the 4 odds-on weapons.
Then you must choose which to seek first. Do you seek?
Are you saying these names out loud?
Yes.
Okay.
Well, I guess I'm listening to it. So
You-
yeah, I'll repeat it.
And you hear the same pages like book moving back and forth,
Okay.
and he's like looking down at it, and you can tell it. So, do you seek Kukwinga?
Jesus.
Queen. Yeah.
Queen.
Cuquinga.
Quinga. I have remotely less than 2.
Do you seek Ekit Nakwa, which is 3 words? ECET COI.
ECET?
Yep.
COI.
And then the last word is NAQA.
Where did you get these names?
Do you seek Hatal Elwen Pereva? HATAL ELWEN
Sucking hurts in your mind.
TEREVA
DER. What?
EVA
E.
TEREVA. Or do you seek Anguloce Incano? ANGULOCE
Hold on. ANGULOCE.
ULOCE INCANO.
Like bacon and Italian sausage or something?
Yes.
Okay. I think that's what everybody gets right there. And I apologize, I was taking care of that, I missed everything you said.
Well, they're-
Hatal
They're
Elwin.
voted down, so that's good.
We seek Hatal Elwin Trevier. That makes sense. Does the book understand me?
The next page, a map appears, and it starts at the bottom, as if a scroll was being unrolled, and in this black ink on the page, kind of like animation, and then a map appears, and it shows the monastery, which you know is where you are now, and then a path through the woods to some symbol of an arch.
Is that a great distance?
Wow.
And then
I assume there's no key.
through
No.
Does it show anything on this map that I'm familiar with?
Roll 30.
Like link one,
All right, correct.
3.
Shows monastery.
No.
Shows monastery, path through the woods, and then an arch.
Mhm.
All right.
Does this path go north, south, east, west?
Yeah.
There's nothing on the map that shows which way
Yeah,
is
it-
southeast west.
Yeah. Everybody can see the map, right? Right?
You guys look over there and you can see it.
Yeah.
Homer says, what's going on?
Well, wait.
Why is the book flapping like a breeze is blowing?
I have a question. Is she speaking in her tongue? Or
She is speaking in her tongue.
okay, because I was
Does he
thinking,
understand it?
I give her the
Does
stone
he
back.
have the stone?
Huh?
Does he understand what she's saying because he has the
If
stone?
he has the stone, yes.
Oh, yeah. Well, okay, so I say, Wait,
But you don't, because you don't have.
I look
But I
at
do.
I look at her and I ask, do you understand me?
Yes.
So the stone allows my words to be understood by you.
When she
Why
holds
not?
the-
You're speaking perfect Renesma
I
thought it was
am
Morocco.
holding the stone, which is making it, I guess, sound like that.
and Morocco. Whatever's on her sheet.
And Morocco, the other one's Grail, so
Yeah.
it's not the one. I don't think she was from. Although you had said a Morocco, and then the way you were describing her past as being, she was from the Gray Stone, but you told her a Morocco, and I was wondering if that was a mistake, but I didn't,
Might be.
because the background you were discussing with her and all that history and stuff, she should be a Gray Stone, which
Yeah.
is the other one.
It should be, Renesma.
Yeah, so I was wondering. Wasn't sure, but I didn't understand.
That makes sense.
The whole background was my background. No, wait. You said that she said that none of this makes any sense? Because I was repeating everything that was being said. So she should be understanding everything I'm saying, and then I point to the map. I point to the map,
Okay.
right? Because I did. That's like the stuff that it was telling me. You said I'm the only one that could hear it, so I was repeating everything so they could hear it.
All right.
Do we want to stop there or continue in the thing?
Take it one at a time, I guess. I would have started with the first one. Instead of,
Well, they're not necessarily in any particular order. We don't know what any of them do or where any of them are. So
yeah, it's right there. Point on the map.
yeah, where's that? Which direction from here is? That's the tough part.
I would like you to roll 30 and you to roll 30.
I did not. I rolled a 16.
Okay.
Rolled 16.
Oh, wait. I'm rolling those all wrong. Everyone roll 20s.
Me too.
Yeah.
Are we adding this to something?
No, you're just rolling a d20.
A 10, right in the middle.
16.
No, apparently there's nothing about this map that's giving a clue other than you can tell that it's supposed to be forest where you are.
I asked her, does this being in the woods, is this anything you might recognize or?
She looks and then she's like, no. Only thing she says is, if that way would be north, then that portal would be back closer to my village, but there's no arches there.
I repeat what she said, and I give her the stone back. I said, here, you can communicate with all of us until it's time to read the book, and you keep the stone. That way everybody can hear and understand everybody.
She takes it and puts it away.
Maybe this is something that Franklin might know.
Hopefully,
That's the only thing I can think of. We'd have to go ask him.
thank you, by the way.
Welcome. Problem.
I guess we do that.
Yeah.
We go out back to the main hall and Franklin in.
The last time we saw him, he was down in the stores trying to get your list put together. It may take
This wasn't
a
really
day or
like
more.
this wasn't really like 15 minutes later, was it? Then when we just seen him, we left.
I'm gonna say it's more like 45 minutes to an hour.
Maybe we look some more and
We have 4 locations.
I mean, it said where'd you want to go first, so it didn't like
Well,
I think it said first.
The story said that the Solanor scattered all 4 weapons to the far reaches.
No.
So I'm assuming they're not all together.
Far reaches of what?
It's right there.
We could be spending the rest of our lives crossing this great land looking for stuff.
good thing I'm an elf then.
Yeah, but you're half dead already, aren't you?
Half dead? I don't think so.
Means middle age.
I'm still pretty young for my kind.
I've never seen an old elf. What do they look like? Are there any old elves? Like, like when a human gets old, you know what they look like? The equivalent for an elf. I know it'll be a hell of a lot more years, but are there any, or do you even look any different? I've never seen an old elf.
There's some change. Not as drastic though. We hold on to our youth much longer.
Must be nice.
Well, apparently that's why Forsooth spread vicious words about us. My kind wasn't here at that time though, so maybe that's why I've never heard of it.
Possible.
And I don't know all about the religion of the elves, so
Does Solanor ring any bells to my knowledge of religion?
you have religion as a non-weapon proficiency?
Yeah.
Yes, it does.
What do I remember about it?
Solanor. Solanor's full name is Solanor Belandira. The elven god of hunting and archery and survival in wild and harsh places.
Sounds like a badass.
Yeah.
He taught his followers the art of hunting, including archery, moving unseen, and hiding in the wild places. He watched over the borders of wilderness and farmland and sought to maintain the balance between them.
That's pretty fucking awesome.
And it would make sense that he would be called to intercede on the elves' behalf.
Yeah.
It's like the four
Ah,
corners.
we kicked their ass.
Could it be the four corners of the Elven land up here they're talking about?
Who knows?
My wonder is why would it be the Elven lands if we're at the monastery?
If he's a northern god, I guess it would be the four corners of their realm. Up here,
of this one.
I guess. I don't know how far their realm is, but I've heard Father say there's gods to the south and there's different gods depending on what area of land you're from. So
Almost 3 times borders have changed too.
yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
My brother's
but
more the expert on the religion than I am. It's not something I cared to deal
the
with.
borders have changed, religions have come and gone. Originally never truly leaves, it just kind of becomes a lesser. But land does not change, so that map should still be good. Because land doesn't really change that much, to my knowledge.
Well, we don't know where to, don't matter.
Who knows? I mean,
So on that map, it shows the monastery.
Apparently, right?
yeah,
Yeah, it's right there.
If you're standing there looking at it, just so it goes off to the right.
What?
Okay.
The trail was off to the left.
is there any other discernible landmarks?
Perhaps from the monastery, we could get information on where to go.
Roll a 20.
We're at the monastery.
Aaron?
9.
Okay. There doesn't appear to be any other landmarks on there.
The monastery is gone. This castle was built on top of it. This is the monastery.
Maybe there's something downstairs. Did you say something about the downstairs being something?
Yeah, I mean, that's why I guess we need Franklin. Well, it'll be nice to talk to him about this.
Another option is to talk to the religious leader here.
Yeah, I agree.
I can probably may enlighten some. What is the religion of this area? The primary.
The primary religion, there are many gods. Some that he mentioned while reading.
Mm-hmm. Does Osnon ring a bell to anything, or is it just a weird word that we saw in the book?
Yeah. I'll give you
All right.
Those are 4 creatures
Those were creatures, yeah.
that had these weapons that were sent to destroy the elves, and they caused them a great deal of harm before Solendar came and defeated them.
Low for roll.
I'm 3.
Yeah,
All right.
I had a really low roll.
You
but
think
still.
back to your time spent with the village elder telling stories, and you're like, wait a minute. Osna. You remember a story about a messenger for the leader of the area at that time, who was an evil man. And he liked to keep the people in a state of fear because he thought they were more easily controlled. And he would talk about how he would send his royal killers out, and people would just disappear if they spoke out against His Majesty. And you realize that Asnan means assassin.
Hmm.
Oh, I guess that does make sense then.
Oh, did I do that?
So, I was thinking about things.
I was thinking about things.
I remember a story that our elder told me. He spoke of a time long ago when the leader had these Ozma that he would send out to make people disappear.
Because we're Chris wants it up.
Translation is assassins. Yes, Asnan. I guess it makes sense.
Volmir, it says.
Asnan, Ozma.
Oh,
The four were sent to assassinate the elven people. What are you thinking?
I just thought it meant like murderer.
Yeah, pretty much.
Are assassins worse than murderers?
They are murderers.
I suppose there can be a good assassin. It depends on what side.
Wow.
It depends on what side you're on.
And what you
All sides to a war have assassins. It's whether the side you're on versus the side that versus your enemy.
And what's the cause?
Well, I guess
Assassins are.
was what he read in the book. It was to
Murder.
destroy the elven peoples.
I'm not saying that they were good. I'm just saying that not all assassins, depending on how you view.
All assassins are evil. They do evil things. They do it cowardly.
If this guy was evil, then the other side had an assassin sent to eliminate him because he was evil. Would that still be bad?
Yeah, because they're assassins. Assassins are evil. Send a fighter or a hero or a knight or a paladin or something to go kill him. To do the righteous thing. If you're good,
So you mean
if you're evil, you send a guy out in the dark to kill him in his sleep, and maybe his children too. I mean, that's assassins are not good things. But there's no such thing as a good assassin. They're taking a life dishonorably. I'm good. That was good. Josh?
Thank you. Once we get to these locations, I wonder if there's anything waiting for us.
Probably
You're
is.
bored.
Well,
what part of
Someone's probably either garden or is holding these weapons. I'm sure they're not
There's
just
that. Here's
laying
the thing.
there at the end of the path. Oh, there
Remember
it
the
is.
warning?
well, I'm just thinking maybe the book tells us what will be there.
Good question to ask.
Remember the warning? Willing to face the fire?
Mhm.
Fire usually means destruction and bad shit.
I'm trying to remember, but it's my great grandfather and my great grandfather always said that he had to do trial by fire. I never knew what that meant, and it was never explained to me.
It's not a religious passage. Rite of passage, I mean. Should we go find shit?
I'm gonna go look for him.
Well,
He's not working for us.
if possible,
We got time.
if we could get back and look at the book
Yeah, let's do that.
and find out if we got to go. And I'm going to assume if we're looking at the map and it's going this way, we're heading west.
I would like all of you to make perception checks with advantage.
We're 20 or 30. Huh?
That's where you need 31 or better.
Nope.
Hey, look at that!
I didn't. You did?
What'd you get?
27 on one.
Oh, advantage.
And 16.
Bulmer says, why is that doing that?
I look.
And you look at the book and you can see where you think you are now. The path through the woods to Arches. And coming from the opposite direction appears to be a dragon.
Get the book. We need to go see the king now.
Well,
I grabbed the book.
I would like all of you to make wisdom checks.
All right.
Those are on 20.
Oh yeah. 32.
oh, hell no.
28.
Okay. By looking at the map, you think that you've got probably at the most short time before whatever that is shows up here.
I bolt out the door.
Yep.
I find a guard.
So you leave. What are you guys doing?
Grab my stuff here in the room.
Get the book.
Yeah,
You
I
grab
got
it?
the book. I said I got the book.
Oh,
You said
you
get the
got
book.
Yeah, he
That's the
did
first
say
thing I
that.
said.
You
And I
got
said,
it.
all right, I got it.
Get your stuff.
Yeah, grab my
You got
stuff.
We might have to leave. Hey, get all your gear just in case we
Yep.
all got to go now.
Well, it ain't a whole lot. So, yeah, I got mine.
Yeah, I grab mine then. I stop. That sounds pretty good. Go grab mine.
Okay, and then what?
Start heading
Yeah, start
downstairs.
heading
Go
out.
head somewhere. There's a dragon coming. There's a dragon coming.
Go back to Lord Donald's chamber there.
Yeah.
Where we
Yeah.
have our-
Try somebody can get it for us.
The throne room.
So you guys leave the
Yes.
guest rooms, and you
Yeah.
go down the hallway, and you go into the hall.
Yeah.
And you see
Is he there?
you see Lord Donald talking to Franklin, and they're like, we
We're under attack.
The book shows a dragon heading this way.
Show him the book.
I show him the book on that page.
Franklin's like,
I don't know. Apparently, there's a dragon coming here. Should be here very shortly.
my lord, we must flee. And he's like, we must flee quick. And then guards, sound the alarms. And the guards, alarm, flee, flee. And
Where
the
are we
alarms
fleeing?
are surrounded throughout the castle.
Where are we fleeing to, my lord?
I don't know.
You have catacombs downstairs, something downstairs that might protect us from its wrath, or I don't know what it's doing.
I think we need to get our stuff and march for the first weapon of power.
I can't. He's under my care. He's gonna die.
Franklin says, don't worry about the Lord. Take that and go. Obviously, you've triggered something.
Well, then wouldn't it be coming for us where we're at?
Go.
That's
What
the
part
thing.
of go don't
How
you
else do you
understand?
not- This
And he
is the
says,
best
come,
way
my
to
Lord, and
protect
some
the
guards come over and they
So by
like help.
ourselves out in the middle of the woods.
And
We're a
we have
better match
horses
for a
with the
dragon than
horse?
hiding in the
Franklin
woods.
says, I was getting
Say you wanna
everything
start-
together and I was, but I,
Where is it
my
all?
Lord, let's go. Go that way. And they're,
We go that way.
okay, so when you get out there, it's like there's 2 horses and like a pile of shit over in the corner. It's like, don't have enough time to get this together. So you're in this
Are the
situation.
horses saddled or not?
No,
Do we need to see a stable?
you're kind of in it.
Is there any other animals here in the stable?
You want to search each individual stall?
I don't know. We got time. We
Okay,
need to
you're
run.
going to do that. What are you guys doing?
How close has this thing gotten now?
As you look at it,
Yes.
I mean, it's closer than it was, so it's hard to kind of guesstimate. You kind of imagine you're looking at a video game. It's kind of like it started here, and then whenever he saw it, it was like there, and now it's like there. So
It's gonna be here any moment. We just need to run. I don't know where to.
Bulmer says, let's go.
Okay, well,
She says, which way out? And one of the guards is like, that way, my lady.
Horses aren't saddled. I mean, I can't ride one anyway, so I don't do with some horse with no.
So
That
as
would work.
you were searching for other animals, there is there's obviously mice and some barn cats and You hear a barking dog, but it sounds like it's coming from outside.
No pack animals?
No,
horses?
I think most of those things got destroyed recently.
Yeah, kind of figured.
All right, I'll go running back out
Where?
of the stable.
We're all right there.
Oh.
We were waiting for you to figure out whatever the hell you were doing.
All right, well, I figured I went into the
Wait.
stable.
No, we were in the stable and
That's okay.
Oh, okay, I'm sorry,
That's all right.
there were
Not a big
two
deal.
horses.
I understand what you're trying to
Pull out the
do.
book.
I'm looking at the book. It's close.
You're looking at the map. Let's start. Let's pick a direction. See if anything changes.
Well, if it's,
Is there,
we don't know what direction this thing's coming from. We don't know what direction to go.
Where's-
However, if we go outside and look and see it coming, we'll know that's the direction we got to go.
Exactly.
is there bridles out here?
There's one set that's on the wall.
How long is that going to
So
take?
now the Lord is being rushed. They've got like a wagon, and he's in the back of it all. And Franklin's on it, and he's like, "Good luck, dude."
We ain't got enough time with the horses. Grab
Let's just
supplies
go.
and
Grab some shit.
Can,
There's some rope.
Vollmer, can you?
There's one healing bag there.
I
That you
grabbed the.
notice.
Can you ride a horse?
I mean, I never tried.
So you don't know if she's got it.
That's her answer. I mean, you would think if she said she never tried, then she wouldn't.
I
without
thought she had it.
having a saddle or bridle,
No.
there's no way in my.
I'm not trained enough.
We
I'm
need to
sure.
jump.
I've seen
I-
trained people.
Oh, look! I grabbed the rope and the healing bag.
Well, hold on, let me check. That might be important.
It is because that'll change. I have something I want to say to her. If she says yes.
Because I mean, here's the thing: efficient horse riders, they can ride bareback. That's not an issue. Common folk.
Yeah,
no.
she says, "Yeah, of course I've ridden a horse."
You
Of
two
course.
take that horse.
Of course, I've ridden a horse.
You two take that horse, and can I ride behind you? Will you get us out of here on the horse?
I can steer this horse. If somebody else wants to climb up behind me, and that's fine.
I get up. Let's go.
Go.
I get up behind her.
What are we grabbing?
The other horse.
Any supplies?
Whatever you want. I grabbed rope and the healing kit. That's all I
What
grabbed.
else do we see down there?
You
Pile of
see,
shit.
I mean, just is there a bag that we can throw shit in?
you see 2 water skins,
Grab
a tinder box,
Grab it for sure.
and some empty sacks,
Yep.
and
Stuff in those.
1 quiver full of arrows,
I grabbed
which is
stuff.
24.
Does she grab anything as she's running the horse?
Nope, she's hopped on the horse.
2
Okay.
water skins, tinder box, quiver of arrows,
And a couple bags.
couple bags. All right, gonna throw the water
There
skins.
seem to be no shortage of sacks right now.
Yeah, apparently. I'm gonna grab sacks, throw the water skins and all that stuff inside the bag, and here.
So which one of you is steering
All
the
right,
horse? You
Go
will?
ahead.
Okay. So,
outside.
yeah! And you take off. Are you doing anything while you're riding?
They're
Hold
sitting,
on.
Don't fall.
they're sitting face to face playing cards and having tea.
Yes. I do believe it is your turn. Go fish.
Pass the grandpa.
Holding on to the horse's mane.
Nothing?
What's that?
Just holding on?
I'm holding on to
Trying
her, letting her
trying
do
to
her thing.
steer it.
Okay. So you need to roll a d20.
Roll 1 for 19.
18.
That might be good enough.
Who knows? It's up or down anymore.
Depends on whether what statistic I guess it's off of. Not statistic. Ability it's off of.
I'm just saying, who knows if you get higher anymore in
Oh.
this game? I don't know.
Well, usually it's all high. I'm assuming he's doing a non-proficient horse riding check. That's my guess.
That's pretty much accurate.
So
This is called the getaway.
yes. And I'm doing the same thing he is. So apparently one of my listening teams is coming in.
Cool.
Sort of. That's how.
Have you got good insurance? Get them all cut out.
Actually, I see the dentist on the 8th. 15th of July. I had a pre-set up tournament. I'm just gonna see roughly because it's gone down because there was some swelling
May hit
and
you in the face.
No.
You
There
hit
was
it
a
on your
little bit of
side.
swelling.
We have it at the same time too.
I don't know. Okay, so it's gone down a little bit. If it just stops.
Left side. I'll
just
hit him on the
gotta
left
check
side. You hit him on the right side. Kyle push him up for that.
Wrong tooth.
Baseball bat will move.
What is your
Listen, I should be doing this.
okay?
Yeah, that's my.
So you rolled an 18?
Yes.
All right. So you all rush out with all of the yelling and activity here with like half of the people that would normally be here. It's still a lot. And people are kind of fleeing in all directions. Once you exit the building in the area, which way do you go? Do you head back towards
What is the book?
New
Is the book
Stone?
moving? Is the map moving? I yell.
I don't know.
I look around. Do I see a
I
big
yeah.
flying creature?
No.
Do I hear a
You
loud roar?
hear a lot of hooves and the sound of wind rushing past your ears, so you don't hear a lot of anything else. The blood pounding in your ears.
Let's head back home. I think that's a decent spot that we can take a look at things.
You guys stop for a
I'm
second.
not driving.
You have a conversation.
No.
I'm
Then you're not really having this conversation because
Right.
okay.
I'm not driving. I'm just holding on to her. She feels nice.
all right.
Catch up with her.
So you ride for a while, and you get out into the woods proper, and she stops, and she says, "What way now?"
I thought. Okay, hold on. Don't take off. I bought the book. Where are we
Okay.
at?
You look at the map. You see a little book symbol that looks like it has appeared and is just south of the trail which heads west. Meanwhile, the dragon figure is now halfway closer than before, and it's been about 5 minutes. So you think you might have 5 minutes if you were to stay still.
All right, right. I point right that way. I'm pointing a little north of, like northwest. I'm pointing based on the map. I'm just giving an angle. We need to ride that way, and then it should be a trail through the woods, hopefully.
Okay.
And I close the book up and hold on to her.
Yeah! Roll again.
Wah!
Come on, 20.
9.
Okay. That time, it's like, "Dum, dum, dum." I need both of you to make dexterity checks.
27.
34.
Do either of you have tumbling?
No.
No?
No.
Okay. Then you take half. You take 1 point of falling damage. You take 3 points of falling damage.
I guess he caught my fall.
I'm not watching them. I'm trying to hold on for dear life while she's trying not to slide off the seat while I'm holding on to her because she's a bareback and
What do you guys do that you're falling off
we're
the horse?
bareback.
You want to take,
Back on.
you want to take a chance of this again,
Sure.
or just
I climb on. Get on.
Well, let's see if the horse is able to be climbed on.
You hear the literary ding sound of giant.
A 3. The horse is gone.
I still hear their horse behind us. They're on our ass. Keep going. Pretty soon the horse starts to pass. What are you guys?
Let's take off. Let's go.
There might be a
You guys
problem.
take off on foot.
I guess.
Oh,
There's no fucking horse.
there's not. After a while, you guys notice that there's an empty horse.
So they did follow us.
Yes.
Hey,
Got Uber out here.
She's like, oh crap. So she stops and she's
Let's-
like,
I pull out the book. What's it show? Where's? I guess it ain't gonna show them, but where's the dragon and where's us?
the
Try to
dragon,
wrangle a horse. See if you can get that horse.
the dragon's at the monastery.
Okay.
And you can see a little bitty red dot
Where we are? Or, I mean, what's
at the monastery.
red dot? Like fire, maybe?
Could be. Unless I have been doing a terrible job at telling the story.
I'm not there.
No, you did just fine with 3 hit points of damage. I think your storytelling is just fine.
Volmir says, should we turn around and go back?
Negative.
Volmir says to her, hit him.
Wait,
Oh.
let's. It probably fell off. The reason I'm holding on to you so tightly. They should be running this way. Let's
We
just
don't know
wait.
when they fell off.
Well, I know, but let's just wait here for a minute and see what happens. The dragon doesn't seem to be moving anymore. I'm watching to see if it moves. It's sitting at the citadel, at the castle now. It doesn't seem to be moving.
She's like,
Do we hear it?
no, I owe them more than just a wait. And she turns around.
What about the other horse?
She just goes, she's like, you want it?
Well, they'll need it. I have rope.
So you think we should take the time to do this instead of going back after this?
So we go back after them, then what? They're still on foot. I'm just saying, then what?
I don't know. I don't know.
We grab the horse, take it back. At least they'll get on
Go
it
ahead and
again.
go grab it.
I don't know how to. I don't know what to do. I don't know horses.
She's like, roll charisma check.
27.
So, what are you guys doing? Still moving as fast as you can?
Yeah.
Which fire's not real fast in the chainmail.
I'm shouldn't really be encumbered. And I can do this for quite a while.
Did you put it on?
Thanks
I'm
to
carrying it. I think it'd probably be easier to wear it than to carry it.
All right, so
I don't know.
after
That's
a little
fine,
bit,
wait.
you guys are met. She stops, tries to corral the horse. She's able to do so. And then you guys have been running for a while. You can only run so long at full speed.
I can run twice that amount thanks to endurance.
Yeah, but it's only so long.
I know.
How long can you run
You
at
gonna run?
full speed?
I'd have to look in the book.
But when he
Well,
has to stop, are you gonna leave him behind?
You should know what you can do. Just like if you're a spellcaster, you should know your spells.
Yeah, which is going to be based on the fuck.
All I know is kryptonite sucks.
Fatigue. That's the word.
But be that as it may,
So I should have what?
So you
Go
gonna leave him
back
behind? Then?
7 fatigue points.
You gonna leave him behind?
He has more than me.
there's rules in the player's handbook for how long you can run. Got nothing to do with fatigue points.
All right. I just stay with keep up with him, I guess.
I seem to remember it doubled it, but I could be wrong.
That's basically what it does. Yeah, in a nutshell.
So you guys roll a d6, or you roll a d6 and you roll a d6 for yours. 5 and 2. All right. So, after a little bit of time, you are Volmir and Zero are coming the other way with the other horse, and they see you.
What up, buddy?
Hey, man.
감사합니다.
샤워서.
쇼핑샵.
Let's go blue.
쇼핑샵.
Let's go blue.
쇼핑샵. Looking at me like I'm retarded. I look at you like I'm retarded too.
I don't know nothing.
Have you looked in the mirror lately?
Oh, a lot.
Every time
Stop that.
I jank my junk and I look right in the mirror and go, oh yeah, you dirty bird.
Oh, spank you. You're bad.
Y'all are interesting. Let's see, give me the scorpion.
That's a cobra.
Yeah, right.
Scorpions like this.
Oh, no wonder it never works. All right, so you catch up and then what?
What happened to you guys?
Is it chasing us? The horse through us.
It's still, I looked at the bookend. It's still at the castle.
No,
Now we're,
now it's like one step behind.
it's almost here. Get back on this
And
horse.
you hear something off in the distance.
Shit.
Better get back on the horse.
Gotta get back on the horse.
Hurry
All
up.
right, then you do what? Take off again?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Holler
Are
if
you
you fall off.
driving?
You want to try this time?
Holler if you
Sure.
fall off.
That's 20.
Well, all right. Praise Jesus.
All right, Jesus, thank you.
Baby Jesus.
Horse Jesus in this case.
Thank you, baby.
You take off, and as you
This is pretty easy.
don't do that in my house ever again. I forbid it. As my mom once told me, no unmarried people will have sex in this house. I was like, don't worry, Mom, I'm 12.
What's that?
Oh, God.
And as you start to move, the sound of is actually heard over the sound of the horse's hooves hitting the dirt and the whipping by of the branches. But you notice that you're on a trail.
Wait, follow the trail.
And
Stay
you
on the
ride,
trail.
and now I need you to roll initiative. Somebody on your side.
I got
You got it. All right.
3.
Not that bad.
A 3!
Oh,
Roll a d20.
13.
11.
It's not. Almost 16.
How do we get so great?
What's that say?
Little dingus.
Doesn't say dingus.
Yeah.
Are you kidding me?
Roll dingus. Roll a 20.
I love it.
It's
hilarious.
Okay. You notice as you're going down the trail, just at the edge of your vision, you see what looks to be an archway. But at the archway are 3 masked dragonborn, and they appear to be awaiting you.
Now, first off, do we know what Dragon Martin looks like?
It's the ones that I described, the army. They all have those masks that look like dragons.
They talk
I got
talk
them.
about Dragon Ball.
Okay. I remember.
We talked about Dragon Ball.
So,
Yes.
Do they have
I forgot.
weapons drawn?
archway, you guys are,
Back up.
so let's see, you were, I don't remember, let me see, which one were you?
Me?
No,
No.
you.
His old character.
Was it this one?
No.
Or is that, No, you have a spear.
I'm
I
there.
have a spear guy somewhere.
I'm the sword and bow, dude.
Okay, spear. That's you?
Yeah.
Okay, so you're on that one. Randy, would you hand me two of those horses right there? They're behind that box.
I got it.
All right.
I'm ready. Gas station's out of gas. The one up by Walmart, out in front of Walmart.
I didn't run out again.
So drop the
It's
price.
some- it's
Why do you
something-
have that alert?
Is something going on here that we don't know about? The pizza place is overrun, and the gas station's out of gas. Are we playing D&D and there's like an apocalypse happening?
I don't.
Everybody's getting their food and leaving town?
Fucking terrible apocalypse.
Right.
I'm glad I got my gun in the Jeep.
I need to go home and get mine.
Okay.
What's it gas?
So we'll use these three things
Kill 'em dead.
as the Dragonborn.
They have weapons drawn.
Yes, but not like up in the air. They're just kind of like waiting. So,
Do you want to approach this violently or democratically?
Violently.
you need to tell me what you're going to do.
Well, we tried driving the horses as fast as we can.
Charge them. Sounds great.
You guys have stopped and you're having a conversation.
Is that dragging behind us?
Sure is.
I wouldn't say we stopped.
So then you're not having a pleasant conversation.
Right.
I look right through.
Right through.
You're gonna try to spur them
I'm
out.
not trying to holler.
Roll.
But,
Can you please turn that down?
Yes.
yeah, you're supposed to.
Roll it again.
Oh,
Check
roll
again.
again. 9.
9. Okay. So
We're gonna get chewed up by the third dragonborn, and the other guy's gonna eat the red dragon. Anyway, we're rolling.
That's how. They were the lowest gas price in 4
how about
months.
if I actually
How many
count
months?
correctly?
4. Their premium was the price of everybody else's unleaded. Regular.
He runs that guy right over and gets right to the edge.
That's as far as
You,
we can
however,
drive.
are unable to spur your mount to twice the speed. Because you're not trained to do that. So,
Shit fall off.
free attack of opportunity is a hit on the horse. The horse takes 6 points of damage. But that's where that ends. They go through. Oh, there might be a trampling attack. Yes.
Good job, horse.
3 points. They'll choose to move him over here, pushing that guy over. I actually have to be there. They are through and out somewhere. Now it's initiative. So I need actions from you guys. You're driving a horse, so
Driving the horse.
unless you want to try something, then you
I
make
got my
a
Steer for the gap.
okay. You have an action.
I'm holding on, and I'm dropping a spear.
All right, cool. Roll initiative.
I got it.
Y'all seen anyone?
Okay, so all right, so when you get there, this guy is going to try to attack you because they were ready, and if you approached the threatening square, they were going to attack. That's what they're gonna do. So that guy, first guy on you. Hits an armor class of 10. You don't get a dex bonus because you're on mount. So
No.
still missed.
Oh yeah. Armor class 10, you said? Yeah, that is.
And then the second one. That's a horrible miss. Okay, so you can stick this one if you want. The spear.
I was just looking to if there was anybody directly in front of the horse. Just drive our way through. Not to go out to the sides.
Okay,
If that makes any sense.
it does.
Just we needed to plow through somebody, I was gonna try to help that.
So you don't want to attack them?
No.
Okay, so when you leave this square, they get an attack of opportunity on you. So, that one on you again. Miss horribly. And this one is going to attack you. A horrible miss. These guys can't hit anything. And you say, whoosh. And just as you go through, a very large amount of energy comes down, and you say, zip, zip, and you don't know what happened on the other side. And you are through that portal.
That was a fucking portal.
That was too close for comfort.
You find yourselves
Holy ocean.
in a land devoid of plants. The ground appears to be like lifeless.
Is it a sandy or is it like a dirt crushed desert? Not desert, but like a arid ground that's had no water in it?
Yes. The ground's cracked, as if it might have had moisture at some point, but it's been dry. So, you know, it's not like permanently dry
Just hasn't had water in years.
Long.
or however long.
Honestly, depending on how the sun is.
The sun is
Could be as few as.
the sun
Months.
has somehow changed positions from being behind you to in front of you.
The fuck just happened?
Like turn a horse around and sit there driving.
Is there a portal? I looked behind. Is there a portal?
Yes, but it's you can see through it as if it was just some kind of freestanding monument.
Well, what did we see?
Can we see anything through on the other side?
Same kind of landscape.
Okay, so we can't see the dragonborn that was there.
No.
When we first went through the portal, did it look like a shimmery thingy, or was it just open?
Looks regular.
So it looked like there was more force behind it. That's weird. Well, don't walk back through it.
Don't
Maybe
walk
it'll
back
take you
through
back. Yeah.
Well, I think we need to be on guard in case they come walking through
Maybe we
it.
need to get away from here.
And just on cue,
Let's get away.
Hopefully, at least the dragon.
you guys
Let's get
are
away
there,
from here.
and you're talking, and you're like looking around, the horse is kind of clomping or what have you. 3 dragonborns come through, and you hear one of them say,
Shit, it's
and
tonight.
they move to attack. So,
Can I ask a question?
you sure can.
Yeah.
When at least our horse at full gallop went through this thing. I mean, I didn't anticipate us turning around and coming back to the portal entrance. I mean, if we'd have stopped, you know, well, where are we at? We stopped. I mean, the horse. We're like, let's stop. I mean, I would have thought we'd be like some distance from the portal when we naturally stopped.
No,
Slow
that's
down.
not what happened, though.
Okay. All right. I'm not driving.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So you're going to
Get
just
us
take
outta
off
here.
into the wasteland and the featureless plain. Okay.
Yeah. I'll have to look at the book when we get a chance.
All right. So you take off, and to who knows where. apparently leaving them behind.
Apparently.
Once when they're kind of out of, not necessarily out of sight,
After about half an hour, you think you might have left them behind, unless something would allow them to move faster, or something else came through the portal.
I look
But
over
you
and
look
like,
around the featureless plain, and you now start to see that occasionally there's some mounds. So it's not totally flat and featureless, but it's definitely devoid of flora and fauna. Although way off on the right, you do notice this little scurrying creature that you can't quite make out from this distance. Apparently going on its own merry way.
I pull on her thing. Stop here.
I'm like, I'm gonna slow down when I see they're slowing
Does
down.
she?
All right.
All right, hold on. Let me look at the book. I'll pull the book back out.
Do you see?
What does it? What does that map page show now?
The map page shows a portal, except for it's at the top of the page. It shows the book as if it would have moved towards the bottom of the page from the top. And at the very bottom of the page, it shows what looks like a lake
A lake?
or water of some kind.
We need to probably head towards that.
There's nothing else on the map, correct? There's no dragon, or I guess those guys never showed up before on the map, did they? Yeah, I think we should continue to the only other thing on the map.
Yeah. As long as we have, so the portal's on the map, which means we can get back to the portal.
Theoretically.
Theoretically. We might have to fight those things, but
Well, hopefully we have something to help us do that.
well, if we plan the attack to just go up there, we can stay at a distance.
Well, let's plan that later. Let's move.
I'm saying we can use bows if we need to. What kind of weapons did they have?
They had short swords. They had daggers. They did not appear to have, these didn't appear to have any bows. Now, you did see some in the original time you encountered them that had crossbows.
You said they had
But
masks.
those three did not.
You said they had dragon masks on, or is
I
that
did.
Yeah, let's continue to the lake. Should we give the horses a break and just kind of?
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, I would agree with that. I don't know. Vamir, would you agree with that? I don't know how to take care of horses. Should we
Well,
just kinda
anything
slow
has to
down?
have water. It's going to die. So
And I didn't get any of those water skins that were laying back there.
He grabbed a couple.
Oh, perfect.
How do we I'm
get
just
water?
saying, Volmir. What we were saying is, should we
You have that?
just let them walk? Don't run them.
Or-
Give them some moment to rest. Would that be the good way of doing things?
well, in a perfect world, we would walk them towards the water, or we would let them go because horses and sometimes other animals are good at finding water.
Well, it looks like we've got water on the
well,
map.
we got water marked on the map.
We have water though. We can
But
give
we
them
have
water.
to go. Well, I don't know how far away, and she points, that is from here, but
Probably some pretty close from where the portal is here. If we're right in the middle. So another, hour.
Right.
So another half span. I don't think that'd be too much. Probably a little longer if we're gonna walk them.
Well, here, let's.
Pull out the
Yeah.
rope. That's how you grab some rope. Why don't we tie up loosely around the neck so we can lead them?
I mean, you want to give him some water? He said he's got a helmet.
No, it's chainmail, so I don't know.
Oh, never mind. I assume
If you,
that's.
if you just run-
What? Isn't that called a coif?
it is.
Do you have a helmet or a coif?
I don't know.
It's quite.
Okay.
An angle.
It's a good strainer.
Strains your brain matter, really. Well, I don't have anything to do. I mean,
Now let's get them to the water.
Well,
So
Yeah.
you guys tie the whatever rope that you have, and
I'm gonna tend to the wounds on the our horse that got wounded.
Okay.
So while
So
we're getting off there tying the ropes, I'm gonna tend to do diagnostic and
Okay.
go get a
Your
roll.
diagnostic?
Yes, for 15
15 plus?
plus.
What was your total?
What am I in? I'm sorry.
Your
You roll the
diagnostics.
diagnostics.
Oh, I'm sorry. 32.
Okay. So yeah, it's missing 6 hit points.
I stop the bleeding as best I can. Use my healing proficiency and roll a heal proficiency.
I mean, you don't need to. It's not bleeding out, so
But it doesn't
wounded.
look like it's near death or anything, right? I mean, it's
it's
wounded,
it's
but
looking hurt. It's looking hurt.
for now, I just tend to it and keep it from bleeding, put some salve on it, and then just keep it going.
Okay. Well, he's doing that. Takes a little bit, and you notice how unbearably hot it is. And you know that as long as you're wearing whatever it is you're wearing,
Yeah.
Hey, what else?
even just a regular shirt seems like almost too much. That's how hot it is.
What else you guys got?
You
What
went
else
from
you
a
grabbed?
Grab
springtime,
everything that they had.
nice, pleasant weather to this overbearing mid-Georgia summer heat wave, except without the shade.
Georgia.
What's Georgia?
The Georgia State down there.
Hey,
So
Hey,
it's just
are
like,
those-
God damn.
Are those bags empty?
Yes.
Can I have one of them?
Mhm.
I rolled my armor and put it in there. I'm not wearing my armor. I'm just carrying it because I grabbed my stuff. I roll it up. I put it in the sack. So I basically just got a light shirt on, and I just like, I don't know. Cool. Everything else I just tossed in the sack now. I think I have a backpack, don't I? But my armor don't fit in the backpack. This stuff's pretty heavy.
Yeah.
I mean, I can't seem to get anywhere walking around here with all this stuff. Anybody can help me carry something?
Catch it to the horse.
I don't know how. I mean, there's nothing to hang it off of. There's no saddle, so I don't know how to do it.
Take a couple bags on one side, with the rope, catch the bags on the other side, and on top of the horse, and put the hook in.
Here's rope. I don't know if you know
I
what
gotta
to do.
take this chainmail off and do it on this horse.
You need help?
Fine, right?
get out of my hide.
Okay. Boy, that feels much better without that on.
Vormir, will you keep an eye out? See if you see those guys coming. No, see them on us.
I'm always looking.
And so once when I guess everything is done, we start walking.
Yeah, unless you guys want to do something
Hey,
else, we'll start walking.
Volmir, while we're walking, can you look at the horse and see? Just keep an eye on them, make sure they're all right. I know eventually, I'm sure they'll get really tired.
So, you keep walking.
I'm keeping an eye out.
And of course, the sun starts to move slowly across the sky. But it does seem to be moving, you know, in a certain way, like the sun should be moving. Just like you kind of like moved like back in time or something. I don't know how to describe it.
Are we heading towards where the sun's going to set, or is it going the other direction? Or just out of curiosity.
You are not moving along the path of the sun.
Okay.
If you were to look at the sun and see where it was and where it looks like it's going, you would be moving south.
So the map, does it show that?
If and wherever you are, the sun rises in the east and sets in the west, it might rise in the south and set in the north, in which case you would be moving west.
So we're
Have you
heading
been?
down on the map, so to say.
According to the map, yeah.
According to the page, definitely there is a top and bottom of the book
Maybe
based on the spine.
maybe the map
Before you go,
is orientated to north, south, east, west.
Just out of curiosity, I'm gonna turn the book over, like so, like we were at where the portal was at the top, now the portal was at the bottom.
It looks like it would look if you turned it upside down.
Okay, so nothing moved. Okay,
Nothing flips like a smartphone.
well, everything's still in the same direction if I turn it over. I don't know.
Maybe
It's like it's on lock. I think that's what it's called.
Screen
lock, yeah.
Screen lock, thank you.
Auto
I don't have a
rotation,
smartphone.
auto
so-
rotation off.
Yeah, on rotation. Screen
No,
lock.
the Kindles will do that.
Been on the dead.
Okay, now, I need all of you to make constitution checks, except you. That's close, I gotta look that up.
Wow. I just
36, 18, 18.
36, yeah.
What was your total there,
21.
Garrett?
We should also not drink all this water that we have in these two skins until we get. Wait a minute. When you said there was 2 water skins, were they full?
Roll a luck roll. No, they're full.
Okay. We should not drink it all just in case. I mean,
I agree.
not knowing where we're at.
I want to at least get to that body of water and hope it's fresh,
Yeah, be nice.
or at least maybe there's other stuff that we could purify it if there wasn't. I don't know.
Okay,
It's a good song, and every once in a while it just gets stuck in my head.
you find yourselves sweating profusely. After several hours, the sun starts to redden whatever exposed skin you may have. Tops of your ears start to feel a little odd.
Where's that sunscreen now?
The front of your nose starts to itch a little bit. But at long last, all of you see off in the distance what looks like a large body of water. And around this large body of water appears to be a city. Not a city or town like, careful,
Uh-oh.
like New Stone.
Something went flying. I don't know what it was. It's over behind Randy.
Eddie jibbed on himself.
Something white went flying behind him.
Flipped out of,
Excuse me, I didn't mean to do
flipped
that.
out of his crew neck.
What?
Let me guess.
It's white and it flew for me.
That's not hair cream, is
That's,
it?
that's not sunscreen.
Well,
That's
yeah,
sunblock. Good.
Look, been slimed.
Is that what they call it nowadays?
The X-rated Three Stooges. Larry's over there beating up, and he's like that in motion. It's covering his face. He's like, "Hey, masturbator, you want to do that? Why don't you flick to the other side?" Curly's like,
Stop jerking, knucklehead.
Anyway, you see
A town.
The city.
a city.
A city.
It's larger than New Stone, but not as large as Lakemar. you've heard of Lankmar. It's a very large, sprawling city of
You see
everything.
movement down the
But
city.
you see everything located like Lake of the Ozarks around way back when there was just all the stuff around the lake before it got overrun. And then, of course, off in the distance, there are 3 mounds as if in a triangle around the lake. And on each of these mounds stands huge buildings. One is a straight spire, probably going 70 or 80 feet in the air. The other one appears to be a sprawling mansion like in the cartoon Aladdin. And the third one is a shape like you can't believe. It appears to be 2 pyramids, one on bottom that goes to a point, and then the second one is if it's placed on top of it and it goes back out and it's square on top of that. So it's like 2 D4s.
Yeah.
Like that.
Yeah.
Perfectly balanced.
Apparently, you also see on the body of water several boats. Appear to be from this distance, you're not sure.
Does the water extend?
No, the city goes all the way
All the way
around.
around. Okay.
And then from that, probably another, at the most, at some point, it's a half mile away from the water before it just stops and it's just. But in that area, it is green and lush with large trees with these broad fronds and these colorful other things that are crawling up built buildings as if like a ivy, but it's of like a flowering color, just making it this beautiful square natural piece of art. It's quite the sight, something that you've never seen or even dreamt of.
Yeah. Make our way down.
Yeah.
Is that where the map is showing us?
What's map shows it's around?
As you look at the map,
It,
it shows the book very close to the body of water.
Where to go?
where we're going anyway.
You
Yeah.
realize that
You are quite right.
had you needed to go much further, you might not have made it. Except you. You might not have made it.
I'm guessing that's why.
Yes.
I think
But
he would've
you made
it
your
too.
rolls, and so you were able to make it with as little difficulty as possible, which is still kind of difficult.
I'm pretty sure she has it too, by the way.
Yeah, she sure does. How about that?
Such a sweet.
All right, so the area starts to slope, but it's very gradual. It's probably at least a mile to 2 miles away, the walk starting to go down. Like this could have been a much larger body of water at some point, the way this, you're sitting in a huge bowl.
Gotcha.
And as you start to go down the hill from the crest of this baked earth, you notice that the earth is less cracked and dry, but more like dirt that you would just find in a place that had traffic.
Do we see inhabitants?
As you start to come down, you start to see movement, yes, but it's too hard to make out at this point without the aid of some type of supernatural or scientific enhancement.
I don't have anything in the first sense of there.
What's this science you're talking about?
Science, bitch.
And you continue to walk, and the horses appear to be, making it. They're probably not happy either,
No.
but you have. Um, they seem to be pulling you towards the water. So they are very aware that there's something there to be had. And as you go down, eventually another hour goes by, and you reach the edge, and you see people in small buildings that have people walking, carrying water. That's all you see is person after person carrying water from the lake up to their buildings, every which way you look. And the people appear to be very, as if they were cooked over a fire. They're like their skin is baked.
A tad darker.
Yes. And their hair is dark, and their eyes are dark.
Is there great circles attached to the sides of buildings that has fishing nets coming down?
Not in any of these dwellings that you're going into now.
Do they appear to be humanoid?
Yes, definitely.
Alrighty.
And there's also a lot of these. I mean, they look like chickens, but they're not white chickens. They're all brown feathers and red feathers, and there are pigs and goats, and every house that you see, you notice it has barrels for catching rainwater off the roofs. And there's a lot of people that are going to the barrels because it is unbearably hot. You see a lot of created shade, as if trees that grew were pulled and grown together to form canopies, and a lot of awnings over the front of buildings to provide more shade. So it's definitely a society that's built up around the idea that you need to be protected from the shade of the sun, and have water be worth the value of water is not lost on these people. So where do you guys go?
Hello? Hi.
Are you going to approach one of the locals?
Hi.
Okay. He look at you and roll a charisma check.
21.
Okay. The person stops. The woman. The woman, probably in her 50s, that looks as if she was really attractive in her younger days, but now, and she's got these bosoms that are like the knockers.
Vodka knockers?
I mean, like,
What do you call them?
Vodka knockers?
Vodka knockers?
and she looks at you and she says, "What's up?"
Volmir Stone.
Volmir walks up and she starts to speak to them. Unfortunately, you guys do not have the stone, so you don't understand her. But she and this woman have a conversation. And she will roll a charisma check. Oh, very good. And they seem to get it off. They seem to have a conversation, and they are. You can tell that these two females are having some type of female conversation.
They're syncing up.
They're like chuckling, and Volmer points back to you guys, and the woman goes, and they and then she looks back and talks to Volmer, and Volmer just shakes her head and goes, and then she comes back and Volmer comes over to you guys and she says, apparently we are in fire seat.
What?
Fire seat.
Was that the name of the mill?
She said that if we were weary travelers, we should look for a building with the sign of it, of a pitcher of water and a cup. So I thought that was a good idea,
Thank you.
Yeah.
unless you guys want to do something different.
Well, is there any way we can find out if they have maybe a bucket or something so they get water for the horses? Because I don't know if they just want us to take the horses down and put it from there.
Hold on. So she walked over. Sasama! Sasama, but it's dinner time. Oh, there's a wheel down there. She says everyone does it.
All right.
What is that? You guys proceed to go down. Now you can tell you're kind of in a road of packed earth. And then as you start to go, you start to notice that the road starts to have rock in it until you get to where you're about a half a mile from the lake. And now that you're about a half mile from the lake, still going down, you think that the lake is probably 2 miles wide, and it's pretty circular. It's not perfect, but it's pretty circular. So you can consider it to be a 2 mile diameter lake. Don't have any idea how deep it is, but it appears to be blue and clean.
This whole city is.
Yeah, yeah. It looks like the city's been here a while. All of the
Sorry, I had an
available
employee come
space
split open. I'm trying to deal with that.
is taken up. And as you get down lower, you start to notice that the closer you get to the water, the more opulent, the larger, the more grandiose the buildings. Where when you were first coming into the civilization, there was a lot of buildings closer together and a lot of communal spaces. As you get further down, you start to notice land that has walls, I guess, to keep people out.
The closer we get to the lake, the wealthier the people get.
That would be a safe assumption. Not something you haven't encountered before. Because the rich people always want to keep their shit safe. The haves want to have it. They'll keep it from the have-nots. And as you go further down, you start to notice that instead of the people walking into their homes and carrying the water that way, you notice that there is a very uniform type that seems to be carrying water to the bigger establishments. And there are many different, you notice 3 separate kinds of things that carry the water. There's like you know what a litter is, where a rich person sits on it and you have the 4 people carry it on poles?
Yeah.
Well, there's like litters that have, basically it's carrying big things of water. There are horse-drawn, and these appear to be horses, except they're horses
with humps. They're not camels. So that's different.
They're the size of a horse, but they got a hump.
Correct. They are pulling wagons or carriages that appear to be carrying these or hauling these. They're like square. Imagine a cart, but it rides a little lower to the ground. The wheels are bigger, or should I say sturdier than a carriage or wagon that you're used to. And the thing that holds the water is kind of like a square, kind of like the size of this table, like an 8x8, and it's got nets over the top of it that you can tell every so often they might hit a bump and water would splash out. It's like, oh, okay. And then the third way is you saw this once, but it was just obvious. It was out in the middle of nowhere. There's some woman dressed in this like kind of shiny clothes, not like foil, but like a cloth that is reflective. And she's got these large like bands that go around her wrists, around her neck. It looks like jewelry, but it's got kind of an odd reflection to it, like some kind of gems that you've never seen before, some kind of mineral. And she has these it's like she's got these loose fitting hose that go down to sandals. And then she's got not a sash, but a piece of bolted cloth tied around her waist where it makes kind of like a skirt, but it's not like, it's like slit on the side where it's just kind of there, I guess. I don't know what purpose it serves. You're not sure. But she actually conjures water and is able to move it into the building.
Like the water's just floating in the air.
Yes.
Like,
And you notice one other big difference with the closer you get to the lake is these buildings, almost all the ones, the biggest ones, they all have roofs that are covered in greenery, whether they be trees or vines that hang over the top and come down the sides. Almost every single house, unless there's a house that you see that's like, oh, that one's, the greenery is dying on it, like it's diseased, or like, you know how a tree will just up and die in your yard like that. They're all covered in this greenery and have stuff growing off the top, and you can see either workers or whoever up on the top tending to them, whether it be for these strange fruits and vegetables or some kind of animal that's up there. They just use that space. And modern day people, you know, that we would know that as, that makes your house cooler because it's reflecting the sun and it's taking the energy in and growing something versus just hitting the roof and absorbing it. So they've apparently mastered that. Apparently these are some smart motherfuckers around here. Somebody is. So, but eventually you get down to the water, and that's the part that makes Volmir go, huh? And you're like, what? She says, they just let anybody get the water. That's wonderful. And as you can see all around, there's people with their animals and people scooping up water, and they're just coming and going. And
anybody bathing?
Yeah.
I can jump in. Is it warm?
The horses get in there and they just get, you know, like up to their fetlocks or whatever those are called, and they're drinking. And
I'll put my hat under because I'm burning up.
well, it's certainly refreshing. It's not cold though.
It's not hot. It's not hotter than the air around it, is it?
No.
And it feels great.
Yeah. It's like remember when we were kids and we can swim in the lake, and in the middle of August the water was kind of warm. It's like that, but it was still better than not being in the water. And when you get out, there's a little bit of wind, and you're like, oh man, that's. So you see a lot of people like going in and coming out and doing that, and there's a lot of young people down here as well, and that kind of catches your eye, and you see them talking and playing. A few older folks, but a lot of people younger seem to do this quite a bit. Where all the old folks are, I'm not sure, but there, like I said, there's a few here.
When you look out to the boats, do you see the activity on the boats?
Now that you are down near the bottom, at the shoreline, this has all been rocked up now. It's like the landing. It's set up to have things being able to go in and out very easily. You see a guy that is scraping the rock with some kind of tool and pulling up green stuff off of it and putting it in a bag. You see another guy collecting some type of plants, not algae, but something else. And you see another guy that's like appears to be picking up little things and looking at them and putting them in a sack, and you're not sure what he's getting. He's a little further away. I can tell you that we used to step on them at the dock when we were kids, and it felt funny. You know what I'm talking about?
I think so.
Snails.
Yeah. And then you look out and you see there's just off first glance, maybe 4 or 5 small boats, no big ones. Those are conspicuously, of course, where you're from, the only boats that there are for the stream, maybe, and that's about it. You're far away from a large. Although
Didn't Lankmar have one river of some sort?
there's a big lake up there by Lankmar, but you haven't been there. None of you have been there. But you know it exists.
So it should be in my background that I went to market up there with my parents.
Well, I guess until I get a
Okay.
background.
No, that's fine. Oh, if you didn't want it in there, then I'd have to.
No, you can put that in there.
Okay.
About
how far across does this lake look to be?
2 miles.
It's not perfectly circular, but it's damn near.
You notice out in the middle, it's not a boat, it's an island. And on this island, all you see are a bunch of large trees with these huge leaves, smaller bushes underneath, and then right in the middle, standing up out just at the very top, you see what appears to be a piece of stone like sticking straight up, like a something thin that's sticking up out of the middle of the treetops.
Look to be a sword or a giant weapon of some sort?
It's just some thin piece of stone.
That's probably what we're needing to go.
Make a
How
make
big
a
is
perception
how
check.
big is it though?
Make a perception check.
Bigger than the trees? 22.
How big is it? How big is the island?
No, the metal thing. Oh, it's in the middle. There was a thin metal thing.
Maybe it goes. You would guess probably 40 feet, because the trees are like 20 to 30 feet tall, and then, or it might be on top of something else in there. So that's where you guys are, and you're getting some relief from the. One other thing
You know,
too.
water. Let's look at the map and see if that's where we need to go.
You notice. I would like all of you to make wisdom checks, please.
Yep, 24.
21.
36.
You all notice that no one appears to be armed with anything. No daggers, no swords, no bows and arrows.
With looking around at all these people, obviously we're standing out. People taking notice of us and just gawking at us.
There's a few, not as bad as it could be, I guess. every so often someone walks by and looks up and down, but not as bad as you might think.
I think we probably need to figure out if the island is where we need to go and find this place that Paul never said it's got the pitcher and the cup. And maybe stay there
It's probably a tavern.
and just recoup for the night, let the horse heal, let us heal a little bit.
Just then, you notice someone walk by, a woman, and she's balancing like a clay pot on her head, probably filled with water. But you also notice under each arm she's got another clay pot and a pitcher with a stopper on it, and she just kind of walks past and starts heading up the roads. And the roads aren't perfectly symmetrical. You know that if you were to try to go into it's not like a great thing. They kind of go in kind of way, as if the city wasn't planned from the start. Like if you go to some old town, it's just kind of wherever somebody could put something. So
I guess we did the horses get their drink, everybody cooled off a little bit here, clean up the dust off of us. And I guess we had a plan to ask to see if there's a tavern or a inn close.
Good.
We
How
can
about-
inquire about the name of
We can inquire about that thing.
the weapon. Maybe somebody knows something about it. I look at the book after I get out of the water. I look at the book. I didn't take the book in the water.
after he gets out of the water,
Well, I didn't jump in.
Joe,
I jumped.
relax.
Okay.
Even if I'm gonna say you did. It's too valuable. I'm not gonna have you fuck up a good story just because you know this. All right. So you look at the book and
Just see what it shows us where we're at right now. Does it have any?
you're at the body of water.
Did it zoom in any, or is it still
No.
way out? It don't show anything but a body of water.
Correct.
That's all I want to know. Put it back away. Back up. I tell everybody else that too, but it's not a secret.
And meanwhile, Volnir is talking to a couple of strapping young lads who appear to be enjoying the water. And knock, bang, bang, tookie, tookie. And she says, they said it's right down there, so you should go down to where that red building is. You notice that the buildings are made out of wood. The closer you get to the water, and the further away, it's made out of kind of like adobe. Like the water's been mixed with the dirt and crafted that way. And you see kind of the mid-range houses. You see adobe houses, but they have a second story with ladders that go up. The ones on the far outside, they're all just single story flats, if you will. Oh! You should. I mean, that's the correct response. It is what it is. He shoots his colors. Sorry to anybody that's watching from Boston.
Yeah, you guys suck.
Sorry.
You and your shit team.
I don't agree. I like the Bruins. but
Fucking throw trash out on your own fucking ice.
He doesn't even. He's not a sports fan.
I like sports ball. The halftime show is the
That's
best.
the perfect response. I like sports ball. Hey, Chris.
I will say that they did a good job keeping that puck away from their empty goal. I was impressed. They kept it down the blue side that third period. Because if we'd have had a chance, we'd have hit that fucker. Easy. Nobody in it. And nobody near it.
Yeah, it's a gamble.
They did a good job.
You ever watch hockey?
Yeah, I'm just not a huge fan like you are. Like I wouldn't call it the game for it. Well, although that's kind of like the World Series, so I can understand why you do.
Yeah, there's no guarantee they'll ever be back. They're not like the baseball team. The baseball team, like every 10 years. Okay, we'll do good. Hockey, every 50 years, we'll do good. Okay, that's cool.
We did great the first several years. It's just after 70.
Well,
That well dried up until 2019.
first 3 years, they were able to draft the players that the original 6 teams didn't want. So they had the best of the old guys that used to be great. So that's why when they played, they were playing other guys that weren't good enough to make it. And they were the best of the worst. And then they played the best of the best, and that's why they got shaken down. But I wanted to do that on purpose so that way the new teams would have a chance at least being involved. So that's why they were in it. They had a bunch of ex-Montreal Canadiens who were the best. They were all old and near the end. Don't do that.
That's what he said.
But
No, that's not a pipe.
sure.
Yeah. Maybe you punch the balls will help.
I'm gonna say no. That's not gonna help. Well, I like it, but it's not for that problem.
It'd probably take your mind off your inability to breathe.
Worried about that?
So now you're working for Casey's General Store?
Yeah.
Which one? Hercules? Oh, Hillsborough. Okay. I've been by there many times. Never been in there.
The one that is like less than 10 miles from my house?
Oh, good.
It's a lot less than 10.
Yeah.
Only like 2, maybe even 1. You just on the other side of the highway from it.
Is it part-time, full-time?
Mixture so far.
That means part-time.
Yeah.
If it's full-time, that's what you say. Oh, yeah, it's full-time.
I'm not quite. Yeah, I'm not quite full time.
They make their own dough.
It's probably pretty good then. If they make it there.
Okay.
All right, so
Gas stations don't
You
normally
go-
get their dough mailed in.
you all make your way over.
They make great sushi.
You go up the street on the left, and there you have a nice 2-story building made of wood with a great tree on the top of it that looks like it could be an oak tree, but not quite because the leaves are weird. They're like bigger and rounder, but the bark's looking kind of oaky, but it's like a darker red instead of gray. It's, whatever.
It's kind of like a tree, but not.
It's a triff. And then along the sides, there's this green moss or something that's all coated along the outside of it. And you can see a guy up at the top taking water and pouring it along each wall, making the wall moist. And there are horses that are, well, camel horses.
Do they have saddles on them? Do we see any that have saddles?
They look like saddles, but they're like they're like made for these particular animals. It's like
Are they one hump or two
like
hump?
half saddles.
Are they one hump or 2 hump?
One. And the saddles are all behind that.
Because on a 1 hump, they on a 1 hump camel, they put it's mounted on the hump. On a 2 hump, they're between.
So, what do you guys do?
He said, oh.
Where do you guys go?
Walk in.
Yeah.
Okay, it's fine.
What do you do with the What do you do with the horses?
We'll bring them
Well, figure
Well,
out what's
sure,
going
they're
on. I'll
kind
see how to do
here.
with the horses. I'll hold the horses while we figure out what we can do with them.
Now,
Where are
the,
the camels
the horse
at?
camp, they're tied out in the front
You mean,
Oh, they're tied out
on
front.
a hitching post.
yeah, you
Okay,
mean,
then-
That looks
Tied
like
up.
the place.
yeah, yeah. They got water out there? No? So they'll have to be taken down to drink every now and then. It's hot,
I'm
so.
carrying my stuff in. I know that
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
I got my sack and my backpack. Fuck, this thing's too heavy.
Okay. So you go ahead and tie the 2 horses with the rope that you have and
Yep,
tie them up to the hitching post,
Yep.
and then you carry everything else inside with you.
yep,
Yeah.
Okay. So when you get inside,
yep.
first thing that hits you is the smell of. It smells like cinnamon, maybe. It's a sweet smell. Not something that's common except for the springtime and with honeysuckle, where you guys are from. But it's just slightly different. And you look around and your eyes kind of adjust to being on the inside. And there are no open windows. There is
So it's closed windows.
there's no window.
He said no open windows, they're closed.
There are no windows, and the temperature is somehow cooler than what you would think could be in a building with no windows and people in it.
They got an air conditioner.
And there are candles on every table, but they're instead of like thin candles, they're bigger candles like this, and they're inside of some kind of like a wooden. It's like a candle's poured in wood and it burns down. Seems kind of odd, but that's the way it is. And you have a place that looks like there's 2 long bars on one side and a third smaller bar on the left with a whole bunch of single chairs. And then there appears to be one big table in the center and one big table, one smaller table kind of closer to the front door. By this bar over here on the left, there appears to be stairs that have been crafted and that go up to the 2nd floor. And the table that's by the door, for some reason, has nobody sitting there. The big table in the middle is full of people, and then there's random people sitting by themselves or by 2s or 3s along the bars
Nice.
and the left. So you have many places except for that big table in the middle of the picture.
That small table looks nice.
I agree.
Don't worry, the space may be dread now. Wait till the industrial age. Then all the oil will come up. I'll be rich.
What? What are you talking about?
I had to think what he was referring to. Okay, just then, you guys sit down. Apparently, beautiful women is a common thing amongst civilized society because over walks a scantily clad, bosomy serving girl, and she says, and Volmir speaks back, and she says, she asks if you want anything. I don't know what kind of money they take here, if anything.
What does she have to offer?
Hello, Salamo. Ah, here we go. Here we go. Here we go. And so much about home. He says, they have something called dark croon, and silverfish, pushkin, and then something she said we probably wouldn't like, dark toe wine.
Okay, I'm gonna pull out of my bag You pull out a gold, a silver, and a copper piece. And I said,
Now, just for the record, those are coins.
Okay.
Those are Northern Realm coins.
okay, coins.
There are such things as copper pieces. What some people in trade, they'll have something made of silver or whatever, and they'll snap a piece of it off to give. But you have coins because you're in a civilized area.
Yes, so
So-
pockets, golden lions, and copper thumbs.
Okay,
Copper
so
thumbs.
ask her if she will trade food for our coin.
She reaches over and picks up a silver coin.
Mine just says silver, gold, and copper pieces.
And the lady says, "Oh, there's a hold on."
Oh,
Says, if you take them over to the bar, the short bar on the left here, she said they've got a weights and measures guy that'll be able to give you an appropriate amount minus a small fee, whatever that is.
Ask her about the island in the middle of the lake.
Well, before we do that, let's ask her if they have lodging here. Let's start there and worm our way up to a little tip here, a little tip there.
Volmir says,
where's this stone at that you're using? Where are you keeping it?
"Well, I got my hand on it in my pouch here."
Hey, you try to
I
talk
noticed-
without your hand
Yeah,
on
it doesn't work.
I'm just
You have to
wondering,
be touching it.
can I try something?
You're gonna touch it too?
Yeah, I'm gonna put my hand on it. Go ahead and continue with her. I'm just curious if two of us touch it, we both can.
So she talks, and you don't understand.
Okay, no, I guess not. It was worth a shot. Sorry that you have to go through all those explanations.
So she says she's asking if you want something. You can't sit here for nothing, apparently.
Right. You guys want something to eat?
Sure.
I'll go there and I'll see if I can get some
Yeah.
coins exchanged.
I'm guessing that this is kind of a higher class place. That's the impression I'm getting.
Great.
Of course.
It's probably close to the water. Well, it is close to the water, and probably that's where all the rich people are. It's close to the water.
Well,
We want
Volmir says, "I think you're right."
I think it'd be better off here than maybe in the worst part of town where we have to look over our backs.
Well, that's right now.
Homer
Do we even
says-
have a way to?
I agree.
Right now, do we even have a way to pay for anything here? I mean, what if they don't take what we got?
They
Well,
just
I'm gonna go over to that
explained
guy and
that
see.
that guy over there in that point, he will exchange our coin for
Sean's-
theirs.
Sean's
for
playing a
small
different
fee.
game.
I know he
He's
is.
playing Star Frontiers.
It's not like
He's
three
like,
times.
"Wait, where's
This
my
is
blaster?"
3 times this session.
Still
Hey, Star Frontier.
Still doing
I
this.
went shopping at.
I've never played that.
I-
Okay, so anyway,
Someone
I'm
should
sorry,
have-
Con.
no, that's okay. Whatever.
It's 3 times.
It's not a big deal.
But where are we gonna stay
Remember,
tonight?
he's tired. He worked all day.
Well,
Where are we gonna stay tonight?
We're gonna find out if there's
Where can we get
lodging
something to drink? I know. Stop it now.
here.
I'm tired.
So you keep-
I'm fighting to keep my eyes open.
Have we all keep asking her questions? I'm gonna go over here and see what they'll exchange for.
Actually,
Actually,
Volmir says, "Wait for me.
yeah.
Let's do that first before we do anything." She turns to the lady and goes,
Hassan!
"Shima-sama, famaduma," and the lady goes, and walks away.
That means-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so do you get up and go over there? Okay. And before she leaves, she says, "Do you want me to change anything else for you guys? I don't want to make 3 trips, so either that or just come. All of us go over there
Yeah,
at the
I'll
same
go
time.
with you. I'll go with you.
If you want to change it, okay. So you go over there. She walks over and she goes, "Hana shana banasana, hana chana," and the guy gets out of obvious scale, and he's got these round things. And so he looks at you and he says, "What a shama hanafana." She says, "Put what you'd like to exchange up on the counter."
Okay, I'll put 2 gold, 2 silver, and 2 copper.
Okay. So he looks at it and he grabs the 2 coppers, and then he looks at you and then he looks back at her and he says, "But that's that," and she says, "No, it's not." he says for one of the gold, it'll cost one of the copper to get the same amount.
Costs 1 gold to get 1 copper.
No, 1 copper to get 1 gold.
Sorry.
Okay.
Okay, so he grabs the copper and he puts the gold up there, and then he puts 3 wooden tokens, and they have the symbol of the sun on them. Looks like it's been woodworked or carved. It's like yeah, and so he gives those to you.
And those were what, 2 copper or gold?
That's what he gave you for 1 gold. He gave you 3 of these wooden sun tokens.
1 gold equals. So if I give him 2 golds, I get 6 tokens. I'll do that.
Okay, and so the overall exchange costs you 2 copper thumbs. Okay, who's next? Anybody?
I put 30 silver up.
Okay, 30 silver. And so in the exchange,
You want
it costs you 3 copper thumbs.
I give him. I pull out 3 copper. I guess I told them what I'm trying to do here. If it costs 3 copper, can I give him 3 of my copper? Or do I have to exchange?
Yeah, that's what he just
Okay,
did.
so I give him 3 of my copper.
Yeah.
And then 30 silver.
Okay,
For equivalent in silver, or whatever.
you get back 9 sun tokens.
9 something.
Find out what this is worth when you sit back down there and get something to eat.
And Vollmer's like, yeah, that's right, because you got 6, and you got 9 because you paid 30, which is 10. So there you go. And then she goes, what about you? Anything?
Huh? 9 for 10 and I'm lost.
Don't worry
What's the
about
sun token
it.
worth?
I pull out 2 copper and 2 gold.
3 sun tokens.
Okay, and you get the same thing that he got.
Yeah.
Okay.
I follow.
I asked Volmir, how much are these worth? Are these a high class money?
And she says, well, everything is paid for with these if you don't trade something else. So I guess that means if we did a service, we could get something just like back home. But if you don't have it, then
Are these
I mean, yeah, there's so many things. I mean, I'm not going to ask the guy how much a backpack, if they even sell them here, would cost him something.
That's not what I'm saying. I was asking, do they have multiple forms of coin like we do?
No,
How we have copper,
no,
silver,
that's
silver?
it. Just sun
Oh,
tokens. Apparently, well, they think, I don't know.
They are more bartering than anything.
I guess.
I figure out how much it's worth.
Okay. And then she goes and does the same thing like you guys. 2 gold and 2 copper for 6 sun tokens. All right. So,
A room and a meal, 28 something.
so she's like, okay, are we done? Yeah, let's go back to the table. I would like you to roll a D12.
Oh no.
3.
I'll
Okay.
stop the one.
So you go back to the table and you sit down, and then the waitress comes back over, and she says, okay, so I guess depends. You want, like, one of them's obviously going to be cheaper. Depends on if you're just here to wet your whistle or if you're here to have a good time because apparently there's other things that it's offered here.
We are on a business trip here.
And so you get something to eat, check
We
on
need
the bar.
something to eat. We need
She
to
goes,
probably get it.
Okay, hold on, let me handle this. And the lady says, number 5, and she goes, oh. And then Gomer goes, and she says, ah. She says, and she gives her one sun toe. And then she sits down and goes, we're all getting the same thing, a drink and a meal.
In a room
No.
Not yet.
for 3 months.
So one token gets 4 meals and drinks.
Yes.
Okay,
That's the cheap meal and it's the cheap drink.
that's fine.
It's
So like where we're from, it would be like a small beer and a soup.
The last time we
But she
spent
didn't
is-
say soup. She said crab something. So I don't know.
Crab mucus.
Apparently
Have
that's
we ever had crab?
no. You guys don't. I don't know what you guys don't know what crab is. Unless you have a non-web proficiency, which would give you that information.
No, I'm not a druid anymore. I don't know everything about.
I'll allow you all to roll 20s though. If you
Actually, I have
want. Here it is. Colonoscopy tools.
identify crustaceans.
See? Well, you know you have crabs.
Yeah, wait a minute. The bad thing?
Because he's itching. What?
The bad thing?
Okay, so while
I
you're
rolled an
sitting
8. I
there,
said it right roll. I rolled an 8.
okay, yeah, you have no idea what a crab is. Just for funsies. No.
A crab is a.
Cheater. No. Go ahead.
13.
Oh, okay. No, you're like, is a crab whenever a bird has a broken leg?
Is that what gets underneath the horse's saddle?
Definitely. Is that when a dog crabs and then eats it back up?
Yum.
No.
Which we've all seen. Some of us more than others. Okay, but as you're sitting there,
You know
in the left corner, left wall, a woman comes out, and she's dressed very nicely in this sheer top with like a pink covering her boobies underneath this sheer white fabric that is very billowing down to her wrists. She's got these big hoop earrings and a circlet, and her hair is tied up and it's very long. It goes down her back. It's this dark hair. It's very long. She's got the smoke makeup on with the smoky eye and looks like Princess Jasmine. The cartoon version, the hot one. And her
She doing the crab?
no. And her bottom thing is a skirt that's form-fitting, that's kind of tied. It's like close down at the feet, so it kind of hugs her waist and goes down versus going out this way. And she says, "Harasamaha, harasamaha." And you see the people at the middle table all turn around and they're like, "Hey! Harasamaha, oh, yeah." And off to the side, you see these two little pots go, and like a flame comes out, and it's like a mini sparkler that's going. Everybody's like, "Yay!" And then out comes another woman, and you think the first woman was nice and sexy. Oh, it makes this one look like fucking Bella the dog-faced girl, man. Because this second one is a super knockout, voluptuous. Monkey jam. I'm telling you right now, she's got everything booming in all the right places, and her hair is dark except for she's got a little bit lighter, like in streaks through it that go down, and she's dressed in a very much shorter skirt, kind of goes just below her knees, and she's got these
dare
things
her.
around her ankles. Yeah, she's showing her knees. That's
How dare she?
exactly the hussy. And she's got these glittering rings on every finger and these smaller hoop earrings than the lady that introduced her. And she starts to clap. And all of the people in the middle thing, they all start clapping with her. And then as they clap, you see a couple other people at the bars are kind of joining in. Some aren't. There's like one guy in this corner up here that's just like, apparently he's had a rough day. So you can see there's like, he's got some kind of blood leaking behind his ear going down his neck. It's just like, so who knows what happened to this guy. And then I want all of you to make perception checks, please.
Just run it.
Correct.
Nope. I'm close.
On the third time I got
I
it.
saw that. Okay. She starts to dance. And as the clap's going on, with every one of her hips goes, and her midriff is showing, and the lights are like, maybe she's like did the wrestler thing where she put water on her before she came out because she looks kind of shiny and this super sexy and hot, and she dances and people are just, and then you see, the guys especially, they're all like, and then she finishes.
She's a snake charmer.
And everyone claps. And then you all notice this time that up here above this large bar, you notice that there is actually an opening that's dimly lit. And you hadn't noticed it till now, except for now you notice that there's a guy up there clapping and going, yay! And
By himself?
he's like, yeah, this big barrel chest and big arms. Imagine like Aladdin, but he's real big, like a Bruiser Brody looking motherfucker. And he's going like that, and you don't know what that's like, must be the VIP or something. And then she kind of looks up and blows him a kiss and leaves, and he walks away from the edge and does whatever he does up there. And then your food is brought. And first of all, you take a sniff of the drink. Smells like that cinnamon smell that I described when you first walked in. And so it kind of tastes like a spiced drink, like you would have in the wintertime if it was warm. But this is cold. Somehow they made it cold. Don't know how. It's crazy. But it's cold. And it's super delicious. You're like, oh, fuck. And also it's got a little bit of a to it. You realize if you were to down this in a hurry, you might be a little fucked up. Maybe.
Am I really liking it?
I think you might be.
He's a captain.
I don't know what that is, but I'm going
she's
to
a
guess.
snake charmer.
It's Captain Mark.
Just charming.
Captain Morgan.
Oh,
Captain.
Damn.
Captain.
Jeff.
Captain.
Captain Jeff.
okay. Yes. And then, so then
Steve.
each bowl, you're like looking in, it looks like it's just a round block of wood or something. And then you see all of you make intelligence checks.
Does it look back at us? 30.
30?
Yeah.
23.
21.
Okay. So some of you catch on quicker than others. Volmir. Okay. You figure out that you take the spoon and you press down on the top of the bowl and it causes the top to go, and then you pull the lid off, and inside is some kind of soup that looks, you can't see through, and it's got like a opaque quality, like a cream almost. But you can see there's actual steam that's just, you saw the hockey game last night, right? So when they were interviewing Pietrangelo, you know how I noticed the steam that was coming off his neck?
Yeah.
It's like that, even though it's not hot or cold or whatever, it's cold here, so it makes that even more steamy than it would be regular. And you're like, and it smells like you never smelled anything. It's just like, what the fuck? So you try it, and it's like, it's wonderful. Tastes like clam chowder, and I have a Boston Brothers. So,
But
you're hungry and you eat, and it's super great. And you end up picking up the bowl and doing this. And I want all of you to make perception checks with advantage. Go ahead, just keep trying.
critical fail.
22.
24 and 8.
Okay. All right. So you don't notice it till it's too late, but the waitress is just like aghast at the fact that you picked the bowl up and you're.
Did she not realize my pinkies were out?
Yes, you noticed.
I got
And,
a 29 on my 13th try.
there you go. So you finish your clam chowder, which is actually crab chowder, because there were little chunks of something in there, and you're like, I don't know what that was, but that was really good. Along with some other little chunks of other things, and you're like, that could be a carrot.
I think I know
It
this.
could be a carrot. Maybe. It's close. And then
It's a sweet
she
carrot.
comes and she takes all of the things away, and she then comes back out with another cup of the same thing, and then she says, "I'm a chef." And Volmer she says, "Thank you," and there you go. So let me know when you want me to ask about a room.
Right now.
So you see Volmer, as Destinies want to do, down the drink and go, ah! And then she turns and walks over to the guy, the guy at the with the scales, and they're talking. Meanwhile, I would like all of you to make a charisma check at disadvantage. So you're
We
taking
gotta
the
roll
worst. Okay, you gotta roll twice and take the lowest.
22.
roll.
30.
That's your lowest roll. Okay.
22 and 26.
21. 30 and 21.
Okay.
22 and 19.
Okay. So really, nobody totally fucked it up. So.
I rolled a 3. I'm pretty attractive. My
So-
19 was a 3.
She comes back and she says, well, our choices are a single room for 1 sun token, a double room for 1 sun token, just that everything's, you're cramped in there, with smaller beds.
Same size room, just 2 beds.
Yes. Or they have I asked them if they had a room like even cheaper than that, and they said no.
Eventually, there's a door leading outside. Right there.
So
Here's the owl.
I'm okay with, sharing a room with somebody.
2 doubles sound alright.
Yeah, it sounds like the best deal.
Well, okay, I'll,
When you got dinner, I'll get the room.
okay, do you want me to pay, or do you want to,
I'll give you.
unless you want to practice with the stone? Well, there's not really a lot of practice to it. It just takes a second. for
I'll
it
give her 2
to start to
sun
work.
tokens.
Thank you.
But she goes over and then she comes back and she says, okay, they're gonna prepare the room and then make sure everything's good, and then we'll be escorted. And they'll carry our stuff too.
Hey, ask about our horses. What should we do with them?
Oh, that's right. She runs back over. She comes back. She says, that's if we just tell them which horses are ours.
The 2
They'll
that
take
look
care of
different.
The 2 that are horses and not camels.
She goes, oh yeah. So she goes back. And
When the
blah, blah,
people
blah.
bring stuff up to the room, I say that's when we ask them what they know about the owl.
And we'll give them the name of the weapon too, see if they
Yeah.
reason if that means anything to them.
Right.
Then we're hurried out across the street.
And that, or find a religious center here that might do something.
Let's start with the guys that go upstairs. Let's start there.
That's what I said. Start there.
I agree.
Okay, so after a while, you are escorted. One gorgeous woman after another parades up and takes which two of you to one room. Who's doing one room?
Who do you want to spend the night with?
All of you roll charisma checks.
28.
I got 28.
Sean, it's up to you.
35.
Okay. So she's like, that's fine.
You don't have a problem with them then?
Not a problem. All right.
Since the really my stuff, I'll go ahead and carry it out.
So the woman, another woman, before you head on up there, the woman says blah blah blah, and Volmir points to like her stuff and his, and the woman claps, and a man comes over and he picks up all the stuff and he looks at you and says, "Oh, Shamaparmatar." She says, "He's just asking if there was anything else."
No.
So you are escorted up, and they open the door, and the doors here have what appear to be
Thumbprint scanners?
no metal, like no, not like that, like deadbolts from the inside.
Like a chain or like a
No,
straight
like yeah,
deadbolt?
you click it or you turn the knob and the piece comes out of the
So straight
door
deadbolt.
into the wall.
Damn.
And
It would be fancy up in here.
and then they say, "How much you have fun is any?" And Bomer says, "They said don't leave your possessions in here if you're gone. If you're planning on leaving, you would be wise to you." This is where they get you. Apparently, they have a safe room or somebody you can hire to guard your possessions while you're gone.
Okay.
Both
now,
of them cost money, I'm sure.
Now I'd be.
But if you're just staying the night, obviously it's not going to matter. And then the other one, there's another woman that's the one that escorts you up. She's kind of a little bit chunkier, still hot, probably because all the makeup. And the same thing, the man comes and grabs your possessions. And you guys go up there, and you're given a room with 2 beds in it. And each room has a chamber pot and a bowl of water and 2 wooden cups and some linens for washing up. Unfortunately, no windows. And several candles.
Is this comfortable up here as it is downstairs?
It is. Should I say not quite? It's a little bit warmer, but just barely noticeable. It's like it's I mean, maybe 1 or 2 degrees warmer, but still way better than outside.
Have we seen them going into the room?
So,
Our rooms next to it?
yes.
So the
Unless
That
you
would
were-
be a good time to ask.
So-
the
Yes.
people bring the stuff in our room instead of on the back room. Hey, ask them something for us. Ask them what the island these guys are.
So they talk, and she says, "Yeah, that's an island."
Information
What's the
about it.
spiral?
What's that thing in the middle? The
So they talk,
thin
and
thing.
she learns that the island is the middle, is a holy place, that it is off limits to all but only the fire keepers. and that the fire keepers go there to seek advice from their gods. And they say the name of the god, but you're not in the room and you don't understand it. So she says something like Krakatau or I don't know. I'm not sure. Something about Fire Lord. And she's like, wasn't there something about going through fire? Or
Supposedly.
so there's some kind of fire thing. Some kind of fire thing. Anyway. So just then you come over and you're like all situated and then you want to talk to them. So you poke your head in the door or whatever. As the other people, they're unless there's something else you want to ask them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Give them the name.
Am I there?
Not quite. Too close.
Hotel Elm Trevera. That's what they know what that
She
means.
says, and the one like looks and he just goes, on a sort of da-da-da, and then the woman leaves real quick. And then the guy looks at her and he says, on a thought here. He leaves.
What did they
And
say?
you guys just are coming around as you're like, you see these people kind of walking away and they're kind of like, and you notice that as they leave and then you poke your head in. And then she's like, he said he doesn't know how you heard that, but he is not willing to get in trouble by speaking or talking about it.
What? What's that?
I give them the name of the what? Here.
So what's with the island? Did you ask
Just a
that?
holy place. Their holy people go there to speak to their gods. Their firekeepers go there to speak to their god.
I need to talk.
What was the name of that god again? You tried to explain it to me, but it's not what we heard.
Something
About.
like Krakatau or
Does it ring any bells?
You may roll a religion check at disadvantage.
Doesn't matter. Lost the first one.
Okay.
Really? One? There are like 3 numbers I can roll to not pass it. That was
How
one
would you
of them.
pass it being off? Whoa. I
I,
don't know where the fuck we are.
I think we're in the same world, just a different part of it.
Maybe. I don't know.
If I had to guess, we're in the middle of the fucking desert.
We don't know what deserts are because there aren't any anywhere in our
And I
lifetime.
know.
So.
Okay.
What's the plan?
she says specifically the name they
Think
gave
it's a
was
fucking beach.
Krakatau.
Oh.
Krakatau.
And you're after upon hearing that, you're like, yeah, there's no way you heard that.
Krakatau.
Krakatau.
Yep.
Spelled backwards is Lotka K.
Nice.
Should be lots.
That was before some of the days. Actually, huh? Anyway, I
So-
think that the place, unfortunately, that we're going to need to go is
So,
Did you
Yeah.
ask where one of their temples is? So we can go talking with the people?
No, they got pissed off a lot after apparently we asked that question.
Which one?
What we just discussed.
The island or
the weapon name.
the weapon name? Because we discussed 2 things.
No, that question wasn't asked.
All right. We need to find somebody else and ask that question. What's the sun like when we came in?
What's
If
what?
it was past high sun,
Oh,
it's probably several hours past that now.
I'll be right back. I'm going to go look outside real quick. Look outside. What time is it?
The sun is casting long shadows upon the lake town from the buildings. So late in the day.
Walk upstairs.
And you've already noticed a very, very slight change in temperature. As if it was now close, like you were cool in the main room where you ate and were entertained. And then you went upstairs and it was just a slightly bit warmer. And then you went outside and you noticed that the temperature is slightly less unbearable, probably because the sun isn't directly beating down on you.
Yeah.
And
Right.
and it was also easy to notice that when you just did a quick look around, a lot of the 3 boat guys, there's like one left, and the other 2 have pulled up and are apparently processing their catch.
Go back
And
up.
for this many people, it seems odd that that's the only amount of guys that are fishing.
Go back up. So it's getting close to dark.
Well, I think this is something that we need to work on fast. We don't know if the Dragonborn are going to follow us
I
here.
want this to be our one and only night here.
I agree.
Yeah.
In all honesty,
I mean, we gotta find this thing.
I would like to go in the morning as soon as we wake up. Go find their temple, talk with them, see about anything, and
You should probably deal with that.
That's
Since you're the
yeah.
guy with that
I was
kind of
going to
background.
try.
Now, do you think that spire that we saw would be their whole
Probably.
place?
That's probably the place.
Oh, you know what? We should ask what those 3 things are too. 3 different things on the mounds.
Oh
The
yeah.
spire, the upside down, the 2 pyramid thing. I'm
Probably,
curious.
yeah. I'm sure one of those.
I know, but I'd like to know what the other 2 are.
Yeah.
Let's ask what they
No,
are.
I agree. I think that'd be cool.
I'm curious.
And then, yeah, that spire, that island, it has to be.
Let's just
where
ask
the
and find
one
out.
is.
I think you're going to find out more from whoever these priests are,
Yeah.
perhaps.
I'm sure we will.
But this is
Especially
apparently
if
a
they don't-
taboo subject, so treat it.
Yes,
No.
I understand how to treat holy
Get us
sites.
fucking. No, I'm just saying. No, you don't, because we never done that. So I'm just saying, be careful what you say, so we don't get thrown out. Because apparently, this is bad news talking about this stuff. So, for some reason.
Have you noticed?
Volmir says, well, is it because that we're asking about a weapon that might be associated with like killing of races and assassins?
Probably.
Or am I making too long of a stretch
It's
with that?
also because we could. That's probably part
I
of
don't
it.
see any of you here, so
We're also probably outsiders that should not know anything about this, and yet we do somehow.
Well, you got to look at what have you noticed about the people here?
They're colorful.
Yes, they're colorful.
I don't know where they get all the pretty colors.
They're unarmed.
Huh?
We come walking in.
Oh, you're right. I
Armed to
haven't
the
noticed the knife. As a matter of fact, all I noticed were the spoons.
the what?
Spoons.
Spoons.
I just want this to go as peaceful as possible. Something tells me we're gonna have to sneak out to that island. Though.
Well, something also tells me that they got something hidden.
Oh yeah,
That
I get it. This may be a very inhospitable place with not a lot of civilization around, but there's always a city guard.
well, and I think their big defense is what we just walked through. That's a big deterrent.
What?
The arid land.
Oh
Well-
yeah, I'm sure that's part of it. But there's always like some sort of police force.
We haven't seen it yet.
Well,
So some sort of town guard for
I have
handling
nothing to
disputes,
say.
for handling disputes and all that stuff.
female, nothing to say.
Yeah, yeah.
The hell? That's a first.
So I think we need to be on guard.
Yeah, I agree.
And to be quite honest, I think we need to be ready to go at all times. If we find something, we got to go.
I agree.
There's no need to come back here.
When we head back
We
to the
just
portal,
go.
when we head back to the portal, I think we should probably even go as far as to not necessarily go overnight, but really, really early in the morning. That way we can get back to the portal before the sun reaches the hottest point. I think that's probably going to be the best time to travel back.
Yeah, I would agree, but here you got to wonder too: are these guys going to hang out on the other side of the portal waiting for us?
Or they're hanging out on this side, or I
Right.
don't know. I don't know.
They could-
Hopefully,
They could be walking, there could be 1,000 of them marching here.
I get that. Hopefully, we get this weapon, and hopefully we can use it against them somehow.
I don't have anything to say.
Is there a disadvantage?
No, it was just a straight monkey.
So,
I don't know about you guys, but I'm really tired. That long
Yeah.
walk took it out of me. And I don't really care what time it is. I'm tired.
I agree. Let's go to bed.
I third that.
Do you guys have a bolt on your door?
Yeah.
Bolt the door.
Yeah.
Go back to bed. Bolt.
Yeah, I agree. Same time.
Okay. You prepare for bed?
Oh, wait. before
No.
I come back over to you two, and I said, let me check out your wounds and that. I forgot you had said something. I noticed you'd said something about being wounded.
No, I'm good. You see like a tiny scrape on me.
What
When the
about you?
horse,
You'll notice a larger bruise, I'm guessing. Big bruise.
I'll go ahead and tend to it. Just
In any particular way?
check it out. Use my healing proficiency. I'll keep up with them each day.
Well, all right then.
And then I go back.
So as you try to get comfortable in this place that you don't know, never been to, thoughts of the strange sights, sounds, people, you start to hear the walking of people outside of the room as they're walking along the corridor, or people down in the first floor, grow less, until eventually all is silent. They must have closed up for the evening. There's this no sounds coming. Outside, occasionally you might hear some random, very hard to hear thing. But you don't hear the barking of dogs or normal sounds you would hear that you're used to. And as you drift off to sleep, things are wonderful and quiet. And the temperature of this place is actually making you more sleepy. It's like you're not hot. You're just trying to get comfortable. It actually cools off somewhat. You even think you might have to grab the blankets to cover up. And then you are all awakened by the sound of some kind of commotion outside of the building. There's no windows, so you can't just go to the window and look to see what's out there. But the commotion sounds like a scraping on the building itself. Some kind of, and as you're in your room, you can almost sense it going from right to left.
Can we react to that?
If you would like.
Let's get the fuck out of here, get our shit, and leave.
Randy?
So you're in
Here.
you with
Yes, I wake her up
Homer.
and we go knock on their door. Hey, we gotta go. I don't know what's going on.
Run to your mouth.
Something bad right outside the fucking wall.
Okay. So you're putting on your equipment.
Yeah.
Okay. You are as well.
Yeah.
Okay. And then you, I guess, gather your belongings and start to go down the stairs, and
it's
A drama sword.
there's a little bit of light. The elf can see just fine, but there's very low light everywhere else. And as you get down into the main room, it's empty, and there's like one solitary candle burning on each bar, one at the short one and one at each of the two long ones. There's nobody in there. And
Let's not go bursting out the door. Let's crack it and see what's going on outside.
when you walk over to the front door, from out of the shadows, a very large, armed, dark man says, "On the shoulder!" And you're like, "Oh, fuck!" Did not see him there. You have been ambushed.
She didn't see him.
Volmir says, "I'm separate, that guy." And he's like, that. And that's all another time. Hey. And she looks and she says, "We don't want to go outside."
What's outside? Dragon.
No,
Worse.
the lake monster. This is what he says.
All right, I'm good with that.
Sounds right.
Apparently, when the sun goes down, creatures from the lake come out.
Creatures, plural.
And if you are caught outside after dark, you are taken and eaten.
Plural. Creatures.
That's what he said. And the sound we heard apparently was them outside attempting to climb the walls. But the slippery conditions created by the water and the green stuff makes it more difficult for them. Somehow, even though they're from the lake, it keeps them away. Almost like they see it as part of their environment and they don't try to get in where it's wet. This is what he says. Sounds like a load of horseshit to me, but whatever. So he says, if we want to die, he'll let us out.
No.
She looks back at him. She goes, and you see, she turns and heads back up the steps.
I follow.
Not follow.
You follow, okay, and you just kind of go
Try
back.
to get a good night's rest.
As you kind of look back, you see the dark man kind of slink back into the shadow and be like,
Trying to imagine what the giant thing looks like. Would love to go
I can do that too.
view of
I'm-
it, but it's dark outside.
I'm
Either way.
imagining the Riddick monsters from the third one.
But that's not nearly big enough.
third one. Which one was that?
That's the one where
What was the name of it?
Riddick.
Just called Riddick. I guess I never got around to singing that. I need to watch it.
Well, what's the second one?
Riddick.
I've seen the first two.
Yeah. Riddick takes off after. It's
And
a little
Luke.
ways after
There's
he
Pitch
takes. Yeah,
Yeah,
it's a little
that's
ways
it. It's
after
Not Pitch
he's
Black,
in
that's the
charge.
first one.
He's off doing his own thing, and then there's like a coup against them,
Yeah.
and then they strand him on this planet, and that's where the third one takes place.
So anyway, you guys go back, and this time you try to fall asleep, but now you're
That's
like
just Riddick.
listening for
Yeah, we
noises,
covered that.
and every so often you think, "Oh, what's
Yeah.
happening?" Kind of a scraping, and you try to fall back asleep.
I'm
And
glad there's no windows.
I would like all of you to save versus paralyzation with advantage on your saving throw.
Natural 4.
That's a success.
With advantage?
Yeah, I got it. Advantage.
With
When
advantage, I did.
Equal or higher than your number.
14
You made it to.
With the advantage, yeah.
with advantage.
Only because of the advantage.
I don't know if she made it or not. Oh, I'm sorry, dear.
Just missed.
Apparently, Volmir had a hard time falling back asleep. So, if that's how that night ends, and those of you that had a good night's sleep, you get 1 hit point back when you wake up.
I don't know. But I'm tending to them too. I don't know if that
I'm
matters.
back looking for you.
It should. I didn't get to them quick enough for to do it immediately, but I'm tending to them throughout their recovery period.
All right, so you get another hit point back from him if you need it.
Oh, yeah.
And first thing in the morning, if we can, I want to check on the horse too. But I'm tending to it. I'm taking care of it as well.
Wait.
What is it?
We still have horses.
Oh, well, they shouldn't be sitting outside. They'd be in the stable somewhere. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
The camels were just outside. Oh, the camels went.
Let's hope. Well, the where do you go? How do you find
I
it?
don't go anywhere without her. So when she's up and ready to go.
So with her help, you are taken to the stables, which are in the back behind. Like if you were downtown, you know how there's restaurants, but then in behind they have where you can go sit and eat. It's like that. It's an open courtyard behind the building, and that's where stables are, and they have walls and all kinds of stuff. So you don't have veterinary healing, but
No, but I should. I'm hoping
what
by
you
tending to the wounds and make it clean, changing the bandaging, make sure it's clean, not getting infected, put a new salve on, stuff like that. I'm hoping to have something to do with keeping the wound hydrated, especially in this heat. I'd also, if there's a stable hand or somebody out there, I'd ask her to ask him or whoever's out there, this wound on my horse, what would you guys put on it? I mean, I'd have the right ointment. Is there something here you would use to help mend the horse? I'd never translate that.
I don't know.
All right. Good enough.
Well, ask them to see if they know what that spire is.
The three things. The three things on each
Well,
hump.
who are you talking to?
Volmer.
Are you guys all
I
together?
went down to
Yeah.
check on the horses and I took her down to translate. I didn't stop at your room.
So after that's done,
I was just checking.
You catch up with them and you say to her what?
Can you ask them if they know what the spire and the mansion and the pyramids are?
Can. So she asks, and she is told that those are the lords of Oberon.
Lords of Oberon.
Apparently, that is what the name of this settlement or city is. And they say they are the spire is where the aqua mages reside. The giant mansion is where the Prince Naspian lives. He is apparently the hereditary monarch of this kingdom. And in the what was called a sigil, and that is the temple of the firelords.
Firekeepers. Is that firekeepers?
Yes,
Which is,
fire keepers.
okay, that's what you said before.
All right, that answers my other question.
It wasn't this fire.
They
Oh, that's fine.
they said that the people that live there are rarely seen and rarely interfere with the normal goings on here.
except for the aqua mages who are beloved by the city and are the defense against the lake monsters. They're the ones that provide all of the water to fool the lake monsters into passing by the buildings that are kept covered in water.
There's one very active, one recluse.
Apparently, they're able to, with their magic, create some kind of water that doesn't, like, I don't know what she said. It's something like the water goes away unless the aqua mages put it there. So I'm not sure what that means. But apparently that's what keeps the lake monsters from just going into wherever.
Alright.
Interesting.
Well, I think the Aquamages are good people. They don't want to touch the Prince area. I would like to go to the Firekeepers to learn to. We dropped the name of that sword, not sword, of that weapon. Something tells me it's going to be bad news bears, but at the same time, we need to know more.
I would like all of you to make charisma checks at disadvantage for one last thing before we quit tonight. So she is successful. So she got a 24 with disadvantage. You got?
With disadvantage?
Yes, taking the worst of two rolls.
17.
17.
13.
On what?
Disadvantage.
No.
Charisma.
24 and 23.
Okay.
So 23.
You. Okay, I need one more roll. Sorry. Everyone roll perception. 30s. 18. That's not good enough.
Negative.
Negative. This guy's going to keep rolling until he hits it. Okay.
Oh, 28.
All right. Very good. Okay. And we will stop there, and Sean can go home and get some sleep, and so can I.
You're already home.
Now we just gotta wait till
LGBT.
Q plus. Let's go Blues, top quality.
LGBT.
Q. And that's it. Bam.